There's always the motivation of wanting to win. Everybody has that. But a true champion needs in his attitude a motivation above and beyond winning. TXC, where champions are not made, they're earned. TXC MMA Undisputed.
Welcome, fight fans, to TXC MMA Undisputed. My name is Kara Rowe. I'm your host for this evening. Joining me, Joe Battaglia, the owner and the promoter for tonight's event. It is an exciting card. It's legends, too, and we have 9 fights on the card. How difficult was it putting this card together, Joe?
You know, there's not many pro shows in Michigan, so it's really hard to put together because, you know, a lot of times in Michigan, because there's not a lot of shows, the guys don't want to fight each other. You know, they don't want to fight an extremely tough guy because everybody thinks they're going to go to the UFC next week. So it's really hard to match every guy accordingly. But we had a lot of luck on this show. It wasn't very hard to put these fights together.
So we are looking forward to some of the matchups tonight. Now we're going to go into that first matchup, and we have Tommy Benyasco. And talk to me a little bit about this fight.
Well, you know, Tommy's 1-1. He's 1-0 as a pro in kickboxing, and he's had one fight in MMA where he lost. He took a really tough fight to get out the gate, but you know, he's got another tough fight. Tommy has not had an easy road. This guy is 0-0 as a pro, but Jacob Butler was 20-1 as an amateur. You know,
and we saw him in the amateur ranks. He came and fought for TXC, and he was just a stud. I mean, he's great on his feet. He's great on the ground. So we're looking forward to it. But let's get a chance to talk to Tommy and see what he thinks about this fight tonight. All right, fight fans, I'm here with Tommy. Feel free to hate on me, Benyasco, and he's going to face Jacob Butler. Now, what we do know about Jacob Butler, an extensive amateur career. I mean, about 20-1 as an amateur, stepping in for his pro debut. You were coming off a win, a big kickboxing match, and people didn't know you could use your hands to the last couple of fights. I mean, I've seen you drop guys with left hooks. I've seen you really outpoint someone in the kickboxing arena. Now, talk to me about this fight.
Basically, I just want to keep him at the end of my punches. He's a little 5'6" cannonball, so the best way to deal with him is keep him away. If he gets inside, might be a good night for him. I keep him away, good night for me. So that's my game plan.
So how much have you watched of him, you know, on the internet? Have you ever been to any of his fights? What do you know about him?
I haven't watched him live at all, but I've seen his videos online. I'm pretty much seeing him in my dreams now because I've watched it so many times. And more or less, he wants to throw that overhand right. I've seen him come in, leads with the jab, throws the overhand right. So if he does that, I definitely got something waiting for him. And I think it's going to be an entertaining night for everybody.
So how's it ended in your dreams so far?
It's ending with that head kick. I'm sending him home to mama with a smile on my face and a goofy grin on his because he doesn't know where he is. At least that's my theory.
Well, talk to me a little bit about your training leading up to this fight and a little bit about your team.
I'm training over at Mash Gym as always. I started doing some power hours out at Title Boxing. I'm just working with everyone that I can get it with. I'm trying to work on my keeping the range, keeping the distance. Shorter wrestlers are basically who I'm trying to get in with. So if he gets inside, whatever, I can grapple. I got a little bit of jits.
Yeah, well, and that's what you were known for, essentially. We also knew you for your jits, and then all of a sudden you started standing and just letting them pop right down the pipe. And talk to me about that transition.
Basically, everyone just knew me as a ground fighter and thought that's all I could do. So I spent a solid, I don't even know, probably about 2 years now working on my hands. Just tightening up the hands. More or less, I just want to keep people at range. Short fighters, I'm fighting at a low weight class. So everyone I fight's like 5'6". They're all little hobbits. They want to take me down and wrestle. So I got to keep it on our feet and throw those elbows, throw those knees. You know.
You're lucky I'm not 5'6", so you might get hit with a few elbows. They're calling me a hobbit. Okay, so what's the outcome of this fight?
The outcome of this fight's either going to be 15 minutes of standing and banging, me tapping him out if he takes it to the ground, or me knocking him out. Something. Either way, I'm winning. I don't really care what this kid wants to do. Either way, I'm going to beat him.
A check in the win column, right?
Yeah, that's all we want.
All right, good luck, Tommy.
Thank you, hon.
Are you guys ready to see a huge fight tonight to kick things off? Next set will work well. First up, please put your hands together for our fighter making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner, Tommy. Feel free to hate on me, Benyasco. And his opponent making his way to the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Jacob. Ready to kick some butt, Butler! All right, fight fans, this will be 3 5-minute rounds at a catch weight and is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he stands 6 feet tall, weighing 149 pounds. He comes to us with a record of 1-1, coming on a massive KO in kickboxing. He is trained by Don Richard, Métis, and Todd Ali out of MASH Gym. He's representing Redford and Walled Lake. Once again, put your hands together for Tommy. Feel free to hate on me, Manusko! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighing 149 pounds. This is his debut as a professional, but carried 7 amateur belts. He is trained by Chad Kuhn from Kuhn MMA in Big Rapids, Michigan. Once again, put your hands together for Jacob, ready to kick some butt, Butler! Your referee in charge is Mark Fennell.
All right, fight fans, welcome cage side. Triple Extreme Cagefighting, Legends 2. We're coming to you from the Macomb Music Theater in the heart of fashionable downtown Mount Clemens. When we get started, Tommy Bagnasco in the black fight shorts, trimmed in red and white. Butler in the black compression shorts, and wasting no time trying to establish dominance in the center of the ring.
Oh,
Jacob Butler, but he's getting clipped every time he steps in, Kara.
You know, we worked on that. Because I work with MASH Gym as well. You know, what I work with Tommy is you got to move right. Just keep moving right. He's got a big overhand right. You're going to move away from it. And this is where he just needs to back up, get away. He doesn't need to be in there.
Well, he's trying to start a tie clinch against a guy who's a very solid wrestler, and it didn't work out for him. You're absolutely right. Get some separation.
And keep dropping that straight left right down the pipe. I mean, and then move. Drop and move, drop and move.
Well, he's got the shorter fighter in Jacob Butler coming toward him all the time. That's beautiful for a guy with such a reach advantage.
Exactly. You know what the hardest part is, though? Is to actually sit there while he walks in and drop that straight left. You know, you have to have a lot of confidence to just sit there as he's coming in.
Well, so far doing a great job. A mouse already forming under the left eye of Jacob Butler.
Tommy's got to watch. He's got to keep that. There's another left hand he lands. He's got to just keep it out in front of him, creep it forward, and just drop it as he comes in. And that's what we were looking for, is that big overhand right from Butler. And that's why you got to keep moving to that right.
Well, that kick of his is almost a ranging kick. Tommy just needs to stick his fist out there to put a stop to it.
And he could just jab. I mean, you just put something in their face and make them look at something. But he's got to put his hands together because he doesn't want to lose the hand battle with Butler.
Especially not against a shorter fighter like that. There's really no reason for it.
And Tommy looks like he went to a little bit of an old style with the elbows back out again. But, I mean, nerves will kick in this first round until they settle down.
Well, I think what caused that was getting cracked.
Yeah, definitely. And there he's just got to let his hands go.
Some good head movement by Jacob Butler. Every time Tommy commits, he's just not finding him right now.
You know, Tommy's going to look for that head kick as well. He's had a lot of success recently with it, and he finishes up with that straight left, which was great.
It's hard to head kick a guy who keeps moving forward,
Definitely.
though, because you wind up getting on the short end of the kick, and there's just no power behind it.
Oh, and then Butler lands that big overhand right that Tommy was looking for. He knew that was coming, and Butler having some success with it.
Well, you watch the confidence meter on this kid just go through the roof when that landed also.
Yeah. And this is where, like, Tommy just has the pot shot. Throw one out there, move. Throw one out there, move. Don't get into a sit-down battle.
He's not rotating off either. He's letting Butler in nice and tight, and that's where this kid's range is effective.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not where you want to be toe-to-toe with this guy. A big
Jacob Butler
breath
doing
in.
a good job of slipping those kicks in there on the exposed midsection of Tommy Bagnasco.
Tommy's just not giving enough to Butler. It's giving Butler so much confidence.
Well, he caught him a little more firmly with that kick because he caught Jacob Butler retreating. If he can start throwing those kicks after he sticks his hands out there to get Butler backpedaling, he might find a little more success with them.
You know, and for sure, Butler's used to, you know, taller guys being able to get in, moving his head. As a wrestler, you learn to do that anyways because you want to close the gap.
Well, he's a wrestler who wants to stand and bang right now. And hopefully Tommy doesn't get lulled into a false sense of security here and give up a double leg.
Right.
He's doing a great job of staying off the side of the cage, though, which is always a danger for the taller fighter going backwards.
He's got to stick with what he's comfortable. If he's comfortable being southpaw, you got to just stay that way because you can't have any success.
Starting to string them together a little better now, Jacob Butler.
Well, that confidence, as you said, I mean, because Tommy's not firing back, he's not doing much back. That weak jab, you throw a weak jab out there like that, I mean, Butler's just going to roll over you.
Oh, caught him with the straight left coming in.
And he's got to do that more often. You just have to have confidence to sit in the pocket as he comes in and just drop that straight left.
This is one of those rounds, you know, where Butler's been scoring consistently, but Tommy's dropped him twice.
Yeah. The problem when Tommy does move to the right is Butler kind of follows him a little bit. So he's got to learn to cut the cage off a bit better. He is cut over his left eye. It did, you know, and obviously with these little gloves, that's what you're going to see.
He's got a mouse under it, a cut over it, and that's from the 2 times Tommy put that straight right into it. Again, great head movement there by Butler. He slips that left and responds.
It's hard to know. Was that a headbutt? Was it a finger?
Well, it was at the end of the glove, so it could have been a finger. It could have just been those small gloves catching him on the seam. Oh, big spinning back fist that lands.
Oh, he drops him again.
He drops him. Tommy needs to just get in there and go to work. 10 seconds.
This is an exciting fight for this crowd, man. Oh, my gosh. I mean, huge knee up the center.
This is a great first round, but it's one of those rounds where the last 10 seconds could influence the judges.
You know what? It did look like
heavy.
Tommy stole that round, even though Butler was dominant. So that's why I don't like to judge. It's hard to tell. I mean, Butler dominated, but then he was dropped 3 or 4 times. I mean, how do you even make a judgment call on that?
I wouldn't go as far as to say Tommy stole it, but it is a round that, you know, neither one of these guys right now can put this on the books for themselves. They got to pretend this is a 2-round fight and get out there and get it done.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Who knows?
As we watch the replay here. Watch the replay go into the break between rounds here. So, Kara, what are your thoughts on the stand-up game there, that first round?
Well, I just would have liked to see Tommy be a little bit more confident with his shots in terms of stick that jab out there and just pop it, and keep moving to the right. And Butler, use that head movement to get inside and throw your short shots. If you want to take him down, go where you're best. So
every time Butler's been able to score big, it's come off a good head movement. He slips underneath something and just lands one solid right on Tommy.
And Tommy's got to be able to just sit in the pocket when Butler charges in and just drop that straight left and then move. You want to pot shot a shorter fighter like this. You don't want to stay in there and bang because then it gives him opportunity to throw one of those haymakers.
All right, fight fans, here we go. Round 2 underway. Once again, Bagnasco in the black, trimmed in red and white fight shorts, and Butler in the black compression shorts, and they both go down on the end of a sort of a simultaneous crash here. Tommy now much more comfortable here on the ground, looking to take the Kimura out of guard here. He's got it loose, Kara. Butler's so very strong, though, but now that arm locked up,
man.
This could put an end to it early.
That hurts me.
And there's the tap. And
Butler what a massive win. Wow. If either one of them finished right now, it would be a massive win.
Butler had his right arm trapped, couldn't tap. Fortunately, referee Mark Fennell right on top of the action. And Tommy Bagnasco, turning lemons into lemonade, found himself on the mat after getting clipped. and immediately going for the submission. And as evenly matched as these guys were on their feet, once they got on the ground, it was all Tommy Banyasco. Outstanding Kimura from the guard. That's Jiu-Jitsu class 101 right there, and Tommy been running it very well for a long time, doing a good job getting the win here early in the first round, or second round rather. Let's go into the cage. Kara, KO roll with your official TXC decision.
All right, fight fans, let's give it up for both of these guys giving you a great war tonight. With 36 seconds in the second round by tap out due to Kimura, put your hands together for Tommy. Feel free to hate on me, Ragnesco. Wow, I mean, that was a killer first round. You had us at the edge of our seat. Talk to me about this fight, Tommy. I know you're super pumped right now.
Well, I worked with you a lot on my hands. The straight left, like you said, it sneaks right down the pipe, and I caught him a couple times with it. I had a little extra motivation before I walked out here. Ran into somebody I didn't really want to see, but hey, whatever. I'm here. I won. It is what it is. To everyone that ever doubted me or left me, hey, go puck yourself. That was a P.
So, Tommy, talk to me about why you guys decided to go to the ground. You know, talk to me a little bit about that, because obviously, to your advantage, you're on your back, and people know you work so well off your back with your jits.
Basically, I threw the head kick and I slipped, but luckily it knocked him down with me. I knew he was dazed. I grabbed that arm, wrenched it behind his back. I could feel his hand was caught, but he was tapping, so I told the ref, I'm like, he's tapping, I don't want to tear it, and ref jumped in.
Now, what do you have to work on, you know, coming back into this? You did have an opportunity to drop him about 3 or 4 times, but then, you know, he kind of was a busier fighter in the first round. It was really a tricky one to score.
Basically, like, I was kind of, I don't really know what I got to work on. I just want to keep fighting. I keep wanting to hit people, do a little more cardio, do a little more boxing. I'm going to keep training. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to be back. Sky's the limit, baby.
Okay, talk to me about your team and the training leading up to this point.
Basically, my team is my life. They're the people I spend every day with. They're the people that are there for me. They're the people that care about me, besides my friends and family, obviously, that came here. My sponsors, Nicole's Barbecue, Diversified Plastics, MASH Gym. Everyone that believes in me, I couldn't thank you enough. I love all of you. And, little Nick Ott, the cardio kid, flew all the way in from Alabama just for this fight. He's down at University of Auburn being a smart kid. But hey, he came home to support his brother. I love it.
Congratulations, Tommy.
Thank you, Kara.
All right, Tommy Banyasco.
Well, what a great fight to kick things off. I mean, you never know when you have different styles how the fight is going to turn out, but, you know, exciting stuff. And, you know, it was a little bit back and forth. We didn't know 100% that Tommy was going to pull out the W there.
No, he did great. I mean, you could see he cleaned up his boxing. He obviously has a new boxing coach. He's doing very well. Hands look good. He looked great on the ground, and then when it finally did get to the ground where he wanted it, it was easy for him to finish there.
You know, a couple times I think he shocked himself that he dropped Jacob, and, you know, he probably saw Jacob was coming, and I mean, there's no quit in that guy. So I think, and then the thing is, you think Tommy's on his back after standing, that it's going to be risky there, but he's comfortable there and pulls out the W. So great fight to start things off with, and we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the next 4 fights coming up, and we have Adam Alvarez versus Cody Stamen. Talk to me about that.
That's a good fight. I mean, Cody Stamen was supposed to fight Jeremy Karzicki, a guy out of Lansing, which it was a very hyped fight. It was a big fight. This is a fight that could have went either way. It would have been one of the best fights on this card. Jeremy got a bunch of stitches in his head earlier in the week. Had to pull out of the fight on Thursday. You know, that's part of the fight game. So Adam Alvarez, you know, like a champ, stepped up. He's not going to be the toughest opponent for Cody, but you know, this is the kind of guy that just steps up on last minute to still give Cody an opportunity to fight.
Yeah, and he does have that experience. He has boxing background, kickboxing as well, so he'll bring some of that to the table. But if we look into the next few fights, and we have Ryan Pokrivki and we have the Dream Weaver. So let's talk to me about that fight.
This is also a great fight. You have, you know, guys that had great amateur careers. You know, Pokey was I want to say he was 9-0, through TXC. He was the amateur champion. He's 1-1 as a pro. He did very good. Where Derek Weaver's fought primarily in the north, but his first pro fight, he knocked out Mike Wojciechowski, which is an extremely big fight, who only lost one fight as an amateur, and that was a big upset. So this is going to be a really good fight.
And Derek is huge. I mean, he's got that farm boy strength. I mean, he's just a massive dude, and if he can put it all together, I mean, he's something to be reckoned with. Now, we also have next James Gray and Andrew Ventimiglia, so a bit of a stylistic matchup there.
James Gray he's a great grappler. He's competed all over the country in grappling. He's got a lot of skill set. He has his own gym. He's got a lot of guys to train with that are all his size. Andrew Ventimiglia comes from a great team. A lot of guys that fight for TXC. Andrew Ventimiglia was also TXC champion. He was, I want to believe, 10-1 as an amateur. He turned pro. He's done really well. The only thing that scares me about Ventimiglia is he hasn't fought in over a year. So he has some ring rust. He could have some ring rust anyways in this fight. You never know.
Well, let's hope he can put his hands together. We saw him do that in the amateurs and try and keep James Gray off of him to pull out the W. Now, the last fight we're going to talk about right now before we go to our own intermission, Derek Mandel and Daniel Winston. Now, that's a tricky thing because of the size these guys bring, to the cage once the weigh-ins are over and done with.
I agree. Both these guys are really tough guys. Two good schools. You have Warrior Way with Daniel Winston and Michigan Top Team, and Stars and Strikes with Derek. You have a classic wrestler versus jiu-jitsu guy. This is a tough matchup for Dan Winston being his first fight. Derek has, I think, 2 fights under his belt already. But it should be very exciting because Dan's really tough, and he's in his amateur career he has not been finished many times.
And the Daniel brings to the table too. He's well-rounded. If he can keep it standing and keep Derek off of him, but that size that Derek puts on, that's the crazy part. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But we're going to kick off things with our next fight of the night: Adam Alvarez and Cody Stamen. Let's hear what Cody has to say about this fight tonight. I'm here with Cody Stamen, as most people call him, Mr. Wonderful, but we're still going to work on a new nickname for him. He's not a big fan of that, but he's got a tough fight coming up. Jeremy Starsnecki now, he's a tough guy coming in, has a ton of amateur experience, but Cody, you're always ready, sitting at 4-0 right now, but you've had so much experience going all over the States. Talk to me a little bit about some of these training camps.
I've trained all over the world, tested myself against some of the best guys in the world, and I feel like it doesn't matter where this fight goes, I'm going to come out on top. I train way too hard with some of the best guys in the state of Michigan and some of the best guys all over the world to lose. I'm just way too dedicated and talented to come out with anything but a W in this fight.
It's exciting to see you here at home. I mean, I've had a chance to watch you on TV a couple of times because you're typically fighting all over the place. And what's this going to mean to you to be right back here?
To fight in front of my home crowd, in front of my friends and family, it means so much more. It's so much more special for me. Having a big support system there for me, it just makes it that much more worth it. Afterwards, when I get to go see my family and talk to everyone.
It's important to train, and it's great to fight, but also to work with other people, corner other people. I've seen you had an opportunity to corner, and you work with Darren Cruikshank as well. What does that mean to you, and how much does that amp up your game when you're in those big arenas?
I've been all over the place with Darren. He's like my best friend, my main training partner, and with my team, Michigan Top Team, we corner a lot of amateur guys. So I get to experience as both a coach and a fighter, and my life has just been completely based around fighting.
Now, talk to me about this fight. Talk to me, what do you expect out of Jeremy, and how hard have you trained for this fight?
Jeremy's a tough guy. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but, no one trains harder than I do. No one works harder than I do. No one is more talented than me. And, I expect him to come out ready to go, but at the same time, I'm easily the best 145-pounder in Michigan, and I'm going to prove that this weekend.
And what would you say makes you the best, other than the hard training? What can you bring inside that cage when it's go time?
Well, I think a lot of my natural athletic ability has put me above a lot of people, but it's my work ethic. I'm in the gym nonstop. I never stop. I'm constantly grinding out workouts one after another, sometimes 2-3 times a day, even on an off season. But now that I have a fight coming up, it's 4 times a day. And I think that that hard work and the talent that I have is going to come out, and everyone's going to see how great I am.
What's the strategy for this fight?
My strategy is always the same. I focus on myself. I don't really worry about what my opponent's going to do. I just come out and try to be the best fighter I can be and put it all on the line.
Now, are we going with the tighty whities as we usually see you fight in and have to see these pictures all over Facebook?
My name would be Mr. Wonderful if I didn't wear tighty whities in the cage.
If you couldn't pull them off, right?
I can pull them off, trust me.
Oh, I don't want to know about that.
Ladies, trust me.
All right, good luck, Cody.
Thank you.
All right, guys, are you ready for our second fight of the evening? We brought you a war to start things off, and we are ready to bring you another one. This one's going to be a beatdown. First up, making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Adam Bomb Alvarez.
Now, he'll take a fight against anybody just to fill a card, but I really am a little worried about this kid in this fight. It's been almost 10 years since he's won a fight. Back in 2004, April, his last win coming at the hands, or coming against Johnny Sands. And that was a split decision just about every other time. He's been finished in the first round, a few of his fights making it to the second round.
And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, he is Mr. Wonderful, Michigan bad boy. Put your hands together for Cody Stamen!
Sorry about that. Had a stuff I had to do with Kara all of a sudden. Cody Stamen, on the other hand, making his way to the cage. Now, we've had the opportunity to see him vocally his entire amateur career. First time as a professional in TXC cage. 4-0, definitely an up-and-comer here in southeastern Michigan. I hope we can hold on to him as the pro ranks expand here, because a lot of this top talent has to leave the state for a little bit. Find fights and find a home. Cody Stamen, an incredibly dynamic fighter, explosive, well-rounded, wrestling background, but we've seen his hands get better and better and better every time he fights. This fight for him is going to, or for Alvarez, is going to be the exact opposite of his last fight. He fought the jiu-jitsu specialist James Gray, who was armbarred in a minute and 16 seconds. Now he's being fed to a guy who's very happy to sit there and trade with you. Time cage side, getting greased up. So if you're watching at home, the guy putting the grease on was none other than now UFC veteran Darren Cruikshank, running Michigan top team out there and bringing just a ton of incredible talent into the ring.
This will be 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division, and is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed 142 pounds. He comes to us with a record of 4-6. He's a pro boxer and a pro kickboxer as well. He was trained by Mike Moyeo's fight system out of Lansing, Michigan. Put your hands together for Adam Bomb Alvarez! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed 135 pounds, stands 5 foot 6 inches tall. He comes to us with an undefeated record of 4 wins, no losses, trained by Darren and Dean Cruikshank, John Toth, and Johnny Glover. Out of Michigan top team, he hails from Sparta MMA. Put your hands together for Mr. Wonderful, Cody, the Michigan Bad Boy Simon. Your referee in charge is Doug Gallegos.
All right, fight fans, when we get started, Adam Alvarez in the red, trimmed in black fight shorts. Cody, Mr. Wonderful Stamen, in the black compression shorts, trimmed in white. And Kara, don't blink.
Well, you know the unfortunate thing, I don't know if you went over it, but Cody's opponent ended up with a big cut above his eye, ripped his eye right open, and so Adam stepped up. He has a ton of experience. He's been doing this for a long time.
He has, but he hasn't won in almost 9 years, or a little over 9 years, actually. He's coming off a loss to James Gray where he was armbarred in a minute and 19 seconds.
Well, he's one of those fighters that just, they give him a call and he shows up. So, I mean, this is not a guy that he's training and doing strategic moves for his career and who he fights. And so he's always up against guys like Cody Stamen. And as you said, James Gray as well.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen a little more explosiveness from Cody early on.
Maybe he wants to make a little bit of a fight of it. Taking his time.
He looks a little tentative.
Yeah, he does. His chin's up.
Oh, beautiful. Took the overhooks, drove the leg right up the center there. Classic judo uchimata puts Adam Alvarez right on his back. Now going to look to just clear that lazy half guard. Oh, big elbow right in the chin there. Alvarez doing a good job getting up on his rear, and then Cody let him up. Alvarez slipped that right through and then got caught trying to slip. He slips really hard here.
Man, right in the solar plex, that knee up the center. I mean, that is so hard to recover from. That's where you really have to press the action. When someone gets hit with a body shot, there's nothing like it. You just have to jump on them.
Oh, big knee!
Come on!
And then a couple of elbows and now some big heavy lefts. Cody Stamen making short work of this. I'll tell you what, Cody absolutely had no intention of wrestling this kid.
No, he just wanted to practice some fun stuff he's been doing in the gym, I think.
Well, we've seen him before with the flying knees and the Superman punches, and absolutely a highlight reel drop of Adam Alvarez. Didn't knock him out, but very quickly in there to finish it. And Doug Gallegos, no choice but to get in there and put an end to this fight early in the first round. Cody Stamen moving to 5-0 in this TXC cage. All right, into the cage, Kara, KO roll.
And your winner with 1 minute and 40 seconds in the first round by verbal tap out. Put your hands together for Mr. Wonderful, Cody, the Michigan Bad Boy Simon. All right, Cody, congratulations. Obviously, the Patino diet working out for you. You look like you were just trying to build your highlight reel there. Talk to me about the strategy coming into this fight.
You know, my strategy is always the same. I just, I prepare myself to the best that I can, and I'll leave the rest to my coaches and God. I really want to thank, first and foremost, God, my family for always supporting my coaches, Darren and Dean Crookshank, John Toth, who has done worlds for me in the grappling area. I hated jiu-jitsu. This guy makes me do it. It's made me so much better as a fighter. Johnny Glover, my boxing coach, all my sponsors, Josh Burns, Frank Patino, you guys are great people. These are great people, man. It's a great product and great people, putting it out there. You know, I want to thank Bull Thunder, Evolution Detroit, Javier, you're the man. IS Restoration, Dad, I love you. Metro Cal, Bazan, thank you so much. Karen Clark, FC Fitness. Dan Waterman, you've been there since the beginning with Vengeance Fight Gear. I love you, buddy. Dr. Stopa, drstopa.com, F3 Fitness. Everybody who came out to watch the fight, I love you guys so much.
Well, I think you said it all. It really takes an entire community to build a fighter of your caliber. You've moved to 5-0, and what does that mean, and what are you looking for next?
There's no secret. My goal is to be a UFC champion, and I had the coaching staff and the people in my corner to make it happen. I'm just so grateful and blessed to be where I am today. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm really humbled.
Now, Cody, talk to me a little bit about this first round. I mean, it was only 1:40 seconds, but at first you looked a little hesitant. Were you just working on what you thought you were looking back from him?
I was more or less trying to feel him out a little bit, get his timing down, and as soon as I did, obviously I caught him with a knee. Thank you, Alvarez, for taking the fight. I really needed to get back in the cage. I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym and training for my next one. Hopefully real soon.
Now, was the flying knee something that you always wanted to try on somebody, or there was an opportunity there?
The opportunity was there. I saw him ducking his head, so obviously I just wanted to pick my knee up and crack and get like a highlight reel knockout. And I was fortunate enough to do so.
Well, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you back here again.
Thanks so much, Kara.
All right, once again for the Michigan bad boy and Mr. Wonderful, Cody Stamen. The third fight of the evening. First up, coming to us fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Tony, the Tiger Smith.
This kid has gotten in the cage with all of them with anticipated results. No matter how embarrassing the cage, so he always comes out of it with a smile. He's just glad to be there. And it's nice to see him finally looking like he's taking the training a little more seriously. We watched him about a month and a half ago in a professional kickboxing match, which he actually won, which doesn't show up on his MMA record. But he went the distance, won a unanimous decision against a very game opponent, and it's exciting to see. Because if anybody's paid his dues, it's Tony Smith. He just doesn't have the traditional reward for he was actually thrown into pro MMA much too soon. In Michigan, once you get that MMA license, professional license, that's it. There is no backpedaling when you realize the beast under the pillow skills of sharks and alligators and other such nasties. So he has had to learn a time in the cage at a professional level, and that is a very tough lesson. He'll represent himself real well tonight, riding that high off that professional kickboxing league just a month and a half ago.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Running in the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread.
Checked by the cage side officials, and we get Tony Smith into the cage.
No, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages of making. Modern kingdom for the taking.
And his opponent making his way to the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for John, the Machine Schultz.
Honest as sounds, his 4 wins, not quite as impressive as Tony Smith's 10 losses in terms of the caliber of fighter that he's actually had to face. The first time he stepped up to fight a substantial pedigree, he got choked out in the first round in his last fight. So, as much as this matchup has been questioned on paper, when you look at the mechanics of it, a solid selection for both fighters.
decision. This is brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Trainer and Associates. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed 178 pounds, stands 6 foot 2 inches tall. He has 10 professional fights. He is coming off a massive KO in kickboxing. He is trained by Chris Simpson from Bushido MMA in Ypsilanti. Once again, put your hands together for Tony, the Tiger Smith! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed 173 pounds, stands 5 foot 10 inches tall. He has a fantastic record of 6 wins, 1 loss. He is trained by Don Richard, Murray Sutherland, and Rob Henry from New Body and AABA Boxing. He is from Algonac, and he is John the Machine Schultz. Your referee in charge is Doug Gallego.
All right, fight fans, when we get started, Tony Smith. Black and red checkered Hayabusa shorts. John Schultz fighting out of the blue corner with the black Muay Thai shorts. Here we go. Doug Gallagher's getting us underway. Quick tap of the gloves. And immediately Anthony in the center of the cage there. Still dropping his hands when he throws that outside kick, Kara.
You know what, I think some of the things he's been doing recently, actually getting with a gym and a trainer and coming off that win, give him a little bit more confidence than we've seen in the past.
We'll see his takedown defense. No takedown defense now when your legs are in the air. Immediately sticking his arm between the legs of Adam Schultz.
The one thing he had
Schultz,
said
rather,
to me, said he was working on his sprawl, but we, didn't really see too much evidence of it there.
No, he kept his hips in way too close. Finally looking to set up some guard. Now he's going to get triangle choked here. Send up the arm triangle. John Schultz, he needs to sweep that arm back in a hurry and create some space. If he lets Schultz clear to the other side, now he's going to lost on the ground.
My concern with Tony is he doesn't have that mechanism to stick through pain and stick through discomfort.
Well, he just got himself choked out in what can only be called a very sloppy Von Flue choke. That left shoulder of Schultz is driving into the neck. Tony Smith reaching over the head brought his own left shoulder into the left side of his neck, and the room started closing in on him, and a quick tap from him. Just tragic because that is so easy to defend from there. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to get your lights punched out once you mount the defense, but at least you're not getting tapped out that way. Moving to 5-1, John Schultz with modified arm triangle choke. Half of Von Flue, I don't even know what to call it. Here it is.
All right, fight fans, we started off with a toe-to-toe battle, but then quickly came to an end. Your winner with 58 seconds in the first round by arm triangle choke. Put your hands together for John the Machine Schultz.
I'm off in cage side yelling Von Flue, but man, what a sloppy Von Flue.
All right, John,
that
congratulations. You barely broke a sweat. At first he started dropping shots right down the pipe, but you didn't look too concerned.
No, not really. I watched tape. He throws a lot of overhand rights, a lot of skipping leg kicks. I broke a rib about 3 weeks ago, as you can tell. Pretty bad. I really didn't want to stand up and get hit any knees to the body or anything like that. I can't even, pick up a bag of groceries right now. It seems like they come up okay though, but whatever.
Well, talk to me a little bit about your training. Obviously, you really had to change up your training because of the rib injury.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't sparred or grappled hard for probably 6 weeks.
Was there any concern you were putting your record on the line?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm in great condition. I mean, if I say I mean, again, you can hit me with that. But I'm in really good condition, and I figured I can out-wrestle him if I need to. When I grabbed him, he didn't feel that strong.
So what's the prognosis? How much time do you have to take off before your next fight?
I want to fight in January. That was the plan. This is Algonac, my hometown, so I had a chance to fight down here. I have a ton of fans down here, so I took the fight. You know, I probably should have waited till January, but I got in here. I didn't have to cut much weight. Fought at 170, so I didn't have to kill myself. And my training was really taking care of my wife, who's 38 weeks pregnant. I'm sitting at my hotel room right now, waiting for the phone call. So hopefully she can have the kid.
Well, aren't you her doula? Aren't you supposed to be help?
Yeah, we're gonna try this natural childbirth thing. Probably last about 5 minutes, and then she'll get drugs. But I don't know. I'm just there to catch and coach.
Catch and coach. Okay. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about what's next. So we are looking at January. Is there anyone out there that you really want to face and go toe-to-toe with?
No, you know, I ain't in it like that, man. I like to compete. I like to fight. Always has since I was a little kid. In fact, Matt Walson's out here used to beat me up as a little kid like my big brother. And I don't got any beef with anybody. You know, I fight whoever at 55 or 70. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, well, and talk to me about your team.
You know, I've been working with Big Don for a long time, and with my jits, I really got to say, Crew Rob Henry, my striking coach now, has kind of took over for Murray Sutherland, and he has my hands, kicks, knees really put together. I just, I wanted to chance it, but I couldn't, you know. So I kind of owe him an apology, not working on anything we worked on in camp. But, and then I got Steve Goss, my wrestling coach, great guy, great Greco wrestler, kind of the guy I spend all the time with my wrestling. And other than that, man, I got a great team up in Bay City. And we got a bunch of studs up there. We're not well known, but, you know, we beat each other up every day. We got a great boxing gym, you know, one of the better boxing gyms in Michigan. And, you know, we fight every day, you know, and we got some studs coming out of that camp, you'll see.
Well, we'll let you go so you can let your wife know before she goes into labor that you got the W and you're okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, once again, John the Machine Schultz. All right, you guys ready for the next fight of the evening? We're rolling things right along. Here we go, coming to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Ryan Buki Bukowski.
All right, fight fans, Ryan Bukowski making his way to the cage, 1-1. Last loss coming from an early first-round knockout about a year ago. Hasn't fought since that loss. He lost his second fight. His first fight going the distance. Saw some great wrestling out of him. He's a big, strong guy who hits hard. His hands, definitely the hands of a wrestler, though. It'll be interesting to see how that's tightened up over the last year this hiatus is taken. Not going to waste a lot of time getting into the cage here.
Fighting out of the blue corner, put your hands together for Derek the Dream Weaver!
Derek Weaver making his way to the cage, coming off of a win back in May. Checking out Mike Bukowski. Into the first round. Both of their pro debuts. Mojo absolutely devastated by the loss, but got clipped cleanly. A big shot from a hard-hitting Derek the Dream Weaver. Himself as a kickboxer, looking at the build and watching that fight with Wojciechowski. Inclined to believe the young man. Final objective to cage side officials. Get Derek into the cage and get this fight underway.
All right, fight fans, this will be 3 rounds in the super heavyweight division and is brought to you by TXCLive.com. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he was 246 pounds, stands 5'11" tall. He comes to us with a record of 1 win, 1 loss. He is trained by Victor Torres and Don Richard out of Victorious MMA and Michigan Top Team. Once again, put your hands together for Ryan Buki Bukrowski! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6'3" tall. He weighs 234 pounds, has an undefeated record of 1 win, no loss. He is trained by Team Table. Put your hands together for Derek, the Dream Weaver! Your referee in charge is Mark Fennell.
All right, fight fans, when we get started, Ryan Bukrowski fighting out of the red corner. Black fight shorts, trimmed in red and white. Derek Weaver fighting out of the blue corner. Also black shorts. A little bit of white writing on the rear end there. All right, Kara, this is going to be a classic stylistic matchup. Ryan is not going to want to stand in there and take those shots.
No, he wants to go back to his wrestling background. And, you know, Derek Weaver, a little bit sloppy, though, the way he put his punches together. He snatches them back first before he throws them forward. So he's just telegraphing a lot of his shots. But with that height difference, it makes it really tough.
Well, he has got 1-punch knockout power. His first fight, he knocked out Mike Wojciechowski early in the first round, and wisely getting it to the ground. Ryan Bukrowski needs to really look to drive this to the side of the cage and use gravity and mass to pin those hips nice and tight there. You can hear his corner yelling at him, give me an elbow.
And that's the big transition, too, between amateur and pro. I mean, you got to think elbows. That's kind of a reprogramming yourself.
Well, Ryan hasn't fought in
a year, right?
So this first round is going to be mostly to shake off some cage rust. And if he can do it on the side of the cage and stay busy there on the ground, that's just going to be to his benefit.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't want to stand up again. And because he's coming off of getting knocked out, you get a little leery because he was really confident in his hands for a while, and now he said, I want to take it to the ground.
Well, Derek Weaver was doing a good job of stalling this out. Decided he was going to get cute and throw a few elbows from the ground, which allowed Ryan to get busy again, which is going to just tick that clock away here as they stay on the side of the cage.
That long reach, of Derek Weaver can even be effective on the ground.
Well, Ryan really needs to start posting up and letting those elbows slip down just like that.
And he must have got something off because you're seeing the blood on the elbow of Ryan, on his left elbow.
Yeah, right across the nose. It's coming really heavily from the nose of Derek Weaver right now.
And this is where if you're Ryan, you've got to just push the pace right here, knowing that you don't want to get standing back up.
Derek Weaver's in a great position right now where he could open his guard up, slide his back against the side of the cage, and stand up because there's almost no down pressure on his hips from Ryan right now. And he's so worried about opening that guard that he's got himself stuck there in a horrible position. And you can see the confidence of Ryan Pekorski just mounting now as he looks to work the pass. Now passing into half guard. If he just sits on that thigh, he can end this fight here. Being very methodical, plenty of time in a 5-minute round here.
You know, and you'd think that Ryan's conditioning has to be pretty good considering, he was 300 pounds and he has dropped down. Not for the weigh-ins, but, you know, over time.
Well, he's a heavyweight wrestler.
Yeah.
Those guys are always in great shape, as deceptive as it may seem. Mark Fennell telling him get busy. What Ryan needs to do is just get both knees on the mat, sit heavy on that left thigh of Derek Weaver's, and start dropping big shots. The way Derek's got that half guard locked down, it's going to be impossible for him to get out because he's got that left leg bent at the knee. You can't retract it and stand up out of it. You trap yourself in the half guard.
And this is where Ryan, he just has to go to work because you don't want to end up going in the second round and give any opportunity for Derek Weaver to throw some bombs at you.
As hard as he punches, I wouldn't want to stand. I'd want to start the fight on the ground.
Right.
I'd have it written into my contract that we're going to start in half guard.
Oh, if only you could control contracts like that.
I couldn't, but, you know, it'd be nice. Now on the short time here, 25 seconds, Ryan looking to set up a Kimura here from the half guard. Very difficult to finish this here. But look at the mouse on the right thigh from those heavy elbows, Kara.
And you wonder how much Derek is just kind of relaxing on the bottom.
Well,
and
actually,
who's going to come out?
And lost.
Yeah, but I mean, who's going to come out fresh in the second round is the problem.
Now that is a confused look. He does not know what to do at this point. And he's going to get out of this round, but definitely losing this round.
Definitely losing this round, but because he has that one-punch knockout power, it's kind of scary. You never want to start the round off again. You never want to go back in there.
No, absolutely not.
And this is what I'm asking, you know, for considering what he's going through on the bottom, who's going to be the fresher of the two coming into this, you know, with Ryan doing all this work?
He may come out the fresher, but if you're looking for a first round to shake off a year's worth of cage rust, Ryan Pekorski couldn't ask for a better fight this first round. That's absolutely going to do that for him. 10 seconds here. Just looking to stay busy, score points, bringing that right elbow back almost at will. Not enough to get referee Mark Fennell involved.
And here we go with round number 1 in the books, and definitely going to Pekorski. You know, not even a challenge. I mean, the first 10 seconds was a bit of, you know, we saw Derek Weaver throwing some haymakers, but he really has to clean his hands up because if he's got that kind of power, some people have that power and some people don't, but he's really has to clean up his hands if he wants to be able to use them effectively.
Well, he's got that plowboy look to him.
Pardon me?
He's got that plowboy look
to
him.
Yeah, totally. They couldn't afford the animals, so they just strapped the plowboy out of his back.
You can tell if he's going to be fresh for the fight, depending on how the fields look that morning. If they're a little unkempt, he's going to be good to go.
Oh, boy.
Well, if you're standing in his corner right now, you've got to tell him he's got to circle off, he's got to stay away from the takedowns, and he's immediately got to pummel the underhook.
But if you watch, I don't know, the first round we didn't get to see very much, but the way he throws his punches, he throws them short. He doesn't even use his range, which is unfortunate. I mean, he's 6'3" tall. He's got to just pop it straight out there, bring the shoulder up to his chin and extend his lats and just have a super long range.
Ryan Pekorski breathing very heavily coming into this round. Now, we've seen him go 3 rounds against a very tough Andre Ware, but that was over a year ago. A lot can happen in a year.
Yeah, and see how he snatches that right hand all the way back, Weaver does, and he just got to let it go right from his chin.
Definitely trying to load it up.
Ryan is fatigued, I mean, and he's staying straight down the center and going straight back. It's a recipe for disaster.
Well, Weaver definitely feeling it a little. You can see his confidence growing. Ryan needs to let him close and then change levels and then get in there. Very lazy on that, though. But Weaver doing nothing to defeat that takedown attempt, Kara.
Does he know? I mean, it doesn't look like he has takedown defense.
No, absolutely not. No pummeling the underhook. Almost grabbed onto the cage there. The only thing that saved him is Ryan's exhausted.
Yeah, Ryan is just beyond exhausted. He's going to get hit with shots he doesn't need to get hit with. Oh, that right uppercut. I mean, that was inches away from a knockout. Ryan's got to stop going straight back like that.
Now he needs to lock his hands up, drive his hips forward, and get this fight to the ground.
Yeah, he's got to get in his safety zone, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a little confused because Derek Weaver had the underhook, pulled his arm out, now trying to put it back in.
Well, he's in his corner. Hopefully he can give him some instructions to prevent Ryan from taking him down.
I'll tell you, when it comes to referees in the cage, Mark Fennell absolutely has ADD when it comes to stalemates. He is not going to let them spend any time doing nothing. He wants to see action.
Massive knee up the center, and I can't believe that Ryan is still standing. That is unbelievable. But did that ever give a charge to Derek Weaver? He is just fighting hard. I am just incredibly impressed.
Well, Ryan absolutely went into default mode. When he got rocked like that, he went unconscious in his response, maybe not unconscious.
He's going straight back again, which is just such a danger zone for him. And obviously Derek going back to that knee, he had success with it a second ago. I mean, it hit Ryan just like an uppercut.
Well, right now Derek's got a strong overhook. He's already slipping to the outside. He had the opportunity to turn this around. Instead, now catching himself on the cage. And why Ryan pushes off of him is beyond me. He's got no answer at range here for this kid.
Oh, you know, if Weaver could clean up his hands a bit, I mean...
Ryan's takedowns at this point,
and he's just throwing elbow. He's following through with that hook so he can get the elbow right across.
Ryan's phoning his takedowns in. It's
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this is...
How much would you like to spend a month with this kid cleaning up those hands?
Oh, my gosh. Are
what
you
could
kidding
you do
me?
with him?
I mean, and he's such a fantastic size, 6'3", 235. I mean, that's what you have to be in the heavyweight division nowadays. You have to be monstrous like that.
Ryan finally getting his hands locked up, but again with his hips so far out, all he's doing is exhausting himself doing that. Finally able to drop in for the legs. Gets the hands together, got to get those knees closed up there. Big pickup, here we go, finally, as we get into the second half of this round. And Kerry, he's got to go for broke here.
Oh,
he gets stood back up again.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the juice. He's got to just finish it up. Looking at his corner, mounting now. And hopefully he can drop some leather.
Well, we got to be coming up here on the closing minutes of this second round.
And does Ryan have enough energy to pull this off? Is the question.
It's slipping in. Not a lot of defense there coming from Derek Weaver. What a horrible way to lose this fight as the choke starts to slip in. You can see the hooks of Ryan Pekorski getting the legs, feet, and knees of Derek Weaver off the mat. Now switching back to the tenderizers. They're trying to soften him up a little bit.
And he's trying to find energy wherever he can. I mean, that's the worst feeling that you can have. It's like when you swim underwater too long and your whole body is just fatigued. The lactic acid is all the way up to your ears.
Under a minute here. That's it.
Wow.
Mark Fennell unceremoniously steps in and puts an end to this fight with about 30 seconds left. Derek Weaver taking those lazy shots. I'm really surprised.
I am shocked, especially with, and that mindset is scary. When you see a guy just kind of, they've had a terrific round and just kind of give up. I mean,
there wasn't a lot on the shots either.
There's nothing on those shots.
And there wasn't the volume to think that it's time to get in there and stop this fight. Either way, Ryan Pekorski making his return to the cage count, pulling out a win in a very, very tough fight for him. And I'll tell you what, Derek Weaver gets a little bit of takedown defense, and he's moving to 2-0. Absolutely exhausted as he walks over to shake the hand of a hard-hitting Derek the Dream Weaver. I'll tell you what, this kid learns a little takedown defense, and I'm looking forward to seeing him back in this cage. Into the cage, Kara KO Rowe with your official TXC decision.
And your winner with 4 minutes and 22 seconds in the second round, referee stops due to strikes, Ryan Pekorski. That was a turn of events. We know, we could see you were exhausted and you pulled it out. I mean, talk to me about this fight, Ryan.
He's a tough opponent. He caught me a couple times in the first, and it just like stunned me. So I went back to what I know is wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Okay, how did you recover from that knee? I have no idea. That was unbelievable. What were your thoughts?
Pure willpower, not wanting to lose in front of my friends and family.
I mean, that's a good motivation for sure. Talk to me a little bit about when you were in this corner to finish the fight. I could see you looking over at your corner to Victor Torres and Don Richard. What did they have to say to you?
I was really listening to both, but like Don said, just blueprint it. And that's what I did. Just go for the choke, and then when I knew it wasn't there, I just went for the old like hammer fist up.
Are you surprised that he gave up and he gave you his back so quickly?
Yeah. Super shocked because I was stunned. Like,
were you pumped when you saw he gave you back?
Oh yeah. Very, very pumped.
Okay, so you were off for a year. This was your first one back, and how do you feel for this being your first one back after a year off?
I feel like complete horse crap. Like,
Tell me how you really feel.
I mean, my cardio is not where I want it to be for a fight, and I'm just tired, so how it is, I guess.
All right, well, just tell me how thrilled you are, and talk to me about your training.
I'm super stoked. My friends, all my roommates, everyone, my family, one of my good friends, everybody's here. My training was for a year, just boxing and all that, which you really didn't get to see, but he's a lot taller than me, and once I got hit, I was like, I got to take this to the ground, and that's what I did.
Well, congratulations. That's it. Oh, you do?
I just want to thank Joe Battaglia for having me out. Thank Victorious MMA, Mash Gym, Michigan Top Team, and the Pino Diet.
Well, dude, you gave us a great show and turned things around. I mean, you never give up. That's definitely the theme of that fight.
Oh, for sure. Thank you, Karen.
All right, congratulations once again to Ryan Bokrivka. All right, our next fight of the evening is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. First up, making his way to the cage, fighting under the red corner. Put your hands together for James the Phenom Gray.
Both guys know the opponents very well. Everybody knows James Gray comes from a great grappling background, but the last couple of years they have some good coaches in their gym with Tim Farr and I think it's Steve Wadekemper. So now James, I think he's 1-0 as a pro in boxing as well, so he's really putting it together for himself.
1-0 as a pro boxer. I think the trap that Andrew Ventimiglia can fall into is thinking that it's okay to go to the ground with this guy, because Andrew's got pretty solid jits.
Absolutely.
But James Gray, national no-gi champion, third place professional, looking for a spot for the Abu Dhabi Combat Club, fell just short. I fully expect he's going to wind up making that tournament next year. I wouldn't go to the ground with this guy, and I've got 100 pounds on him.
Well, here's the thing: even though Andrew's comfortable on the ground, that's where James is his best. So whether you're good there or not, why would you go anywhere where that's his best thing?
Absolutely correct.
I'm excited to see this fight because, again, I think it's going to boil down to the right cornermen, the right coaches, and not even so much that is if they listen to them. You can be the best coaches, cornermen in the world, but if the fighter doesn't pay attention to what they're saying, it's not going to matter much. James owns his own gym, the SFS, and he trains every day. I mean, he lives this. He's trying to make a run, so he's not going to be an easy target.
That's actually my only concern for him as he starts to advance. The best guys in the MMA game
and his
all have
making
coaches.
His way to the
That's right.
They aren't
coaches.
coaches.
On the blue corner.
I agree.
Put your hands together for Andrew.
I think he's smart enough, though. He has, like I said, Tim Farr. He's got guys that are better strikers than he is in his gym coaching him as well. So it's not like he's the only coach. He's more or less just the jiu-jitsu coach and probably MMA, but he's got some good striking guys in his gym as well. And, you know the Team Shoot guys, they all have, ton of great strikers, ton of great grappling guys. I mean, their lineage is back, as far as I can remember.
Oh, absolutely. When MMA got started in Michigan, and it was all smokers.
Right.
We headed down to Toledo for Fight Zone. Team Shoot guys were there.
Absolutely. I mean, Mike Kroll and Aaron over there, they run a great program, and Scotty Bickerstaff is out of there, Brendan Seguin, Vance, all these guys are original Team Shoot guys. Terry DeVinny, you name it.
Back when guys were still wearing keys and soccer kicks to the head were legal.
That's right. Terry DeVinny was supposed to be on this card, but he got injured. Tough guy.
Now, we haven't seen Andrew in the cage in a little while. It's going to be interesting to watch.
See how much ring rust he has. He fought for us last year when he fought Sendoni, and he also hadn't fought in a while for that fight. And he came out and won that first round. He winded up losing in the second round, and I think a little bit had to do with the ring rust because he looked great right out the gate.
As a promoter, that's a fight I'd love to see you working on, James Gray.
Yeah.
And Sendoni. That'd be a great fight.
I don't know.
It's got to happen.
For me, it's hard to say because I think anybody that specializes in wrestling is a bad fight for James Gray. I think the way that a good fight for me to match with Jim Gray would be a striker with good wrestling.
9 inches tall. He comes to us with an undefeated record of 1 win, no losses. He's a 2-time Jiu-Jitsu national champ. He is fighting out of his own gym, Scorpion Fighting System. He hails from Philadelphia, but fighting out of Howell, Michigan. Put your hands together once again for James the Phenom Gray! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed 134 pounds, stands 5 foot 8 inches tall. He has a record of 1 win, 1 loss. He's a former TXC amateur champion. He is trained by Aaron Hardman, Mike Grohl, and Steve Lowe out of Team Shoot. He is fighting out of Macomb, Michigan. Put your hands together once again for Vicious Andrew Ventimiglia!
All right, fight fans, when we get started, James Gray fighting out of the red corner in the blue, white, and red Venom shorts. Andrew Ventimiglia fighting out of the blue corner, white fight shorts trimmed in black and gray camo. And Kara, this is going to be a stylistic matchup. If Andrew gets in and clinches or lets this go to the ground, he is going to have a lot of trouble finishing this fight, getting out of this with a victory. If he can keep it on his feet, I think he can outstrike James Gray.
Yeah, and coming into the southpaw, which always throws somebody off, and I don't think that James knew that he was a southpaw. The funny thing about James is he's had a boxing match. He doesn't have much boxing experience, but he did have a professional match and picked up the W.
Well, you can see that all he wants to do is get it to the ground.
Look at that defense from Andrew Ventimiglia. I mean, obviously he's worked on that, knowing everyone knows James Gray's background.
Oh, absolutely. A world-class grappler. You got to stay in the center of the cage. You cannot let this happen. And if it does, you had better stall this fight out. Letting James Gray pass like that. Now looking, Neon Belly right into a full mount. Going to take his time in the center of the cage and set up some submissions here. Now the grappler here needs to give there, big elbow. Andrew, what did you just do?
And the tricky thing is, James has never been out of the first round. He's always picked up his victories in the first round.
You put James Gray on your back, there is not a clock short enough to save you here at this point. And he's got at least 4 minutes left in this first round to go to work.
And it's unfortunate because Ventimiglia is a very good fighter. But, this is a tricky, like you said, if you close the gap with James Gray, it's kind of pretty much over.
Now getting himself body locked here. And big shots. James Gray, very methodical, chokes in deep, fights over, Kara. That's it. Wow. Andrew Ventimiglia did such a good job weathering those first 2 storms from James Gray. Pieced him up and hit him hard, and then let himself get double-legged, and that was all she wrote. You barely got those cans on your head, and you are back in the cage there. James Gray making the grappling game look very easy against a very tough grappler.
Fight fans, your winner with 1 minute and 29 seconds in the first round by rear naked choke. Give it up for James, the Phenom Gray. Congratulations, James. You know, it's tricky. When we see you take someone to the ground, we know it's going to be pretty much a short night. Really, you haven't been out of the first round in a fight, have you?
No, well, I had one fight that was way out of my weight back in like 2007. Since then, I was like, man, I should just get it to the ground and get these fights out of here.
Like, there's kids here that probably were born in 2007. Like, I mean, that was a long time ago. That is unbelievable. And for those that don't know, I mean, you're one of only 16 people in the entire United States that got invited to the World Championship. Tell us about that.
If you talk about the ADCC North American, I was able to compete in it. Finished third in the ADCC, so really close to the one of the biggest jiu-jitsu dreams I have. So I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Now talk to me a little bit about a few minutes of the stand-up. I mean, a few seconds of the stand-up here tonight. I know you have a little bit of confidence in stand-up now because you did have a pro boxing match.
Yeah, I actually did a professional boxing bout out of a dare from my girlfriend. She was like, "You don't stand in the cage, so I'm going to sign you up for a pro boxing bout." I was able to win it, but tonight I wanted to actually hit a really crazy flying leg lock, and I went for it too much. I should have just, been smart.
Now talk to me a little bit about this fight, in this 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Oh, Andrew Ventimiglia is a great fighter, man. I appreciate him stepping up. I had a couple people say no, my hat's off to him. He's awesome. He hit me with a couple shots, and I was like, hey, I'm in a fight. I should probably take this down. So, it was a lot of fun.
Talk to me about your training leading up to this, because I know you have your own gym.
I just run and coach at Team SFS. I got like the best family of fighters in the world, Actually, two of my people fought last night. I was there, I cornered them, they both won, so I was like, all right, I got to cap off the weekend with a good win. So
what's next for you? I know you flip-flop between JIT tournaments and, trying to step in the cage.
I'm trying to get on a kickboxing card, if that works out cool. If not,
Was that a dare, or are you willingly going?
No, you know what, I got to keep testing myself, and I got to take my jiu-jitsu element out and see how I, do when I have to just deal with my stand-up. And I actually have a possible fight offer over in Japan for ONE FC. If that can go through, that's where I'm at. You'll see me there.
Well, congratulations on the W tonight. Anyone you need to thank?
My sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings of Howell, Total Fitness Center, MI Fitness, Hand Combat Radio. And if you all notice, I keep walking out to Imagine by John Lennon. Because, here I am, I'm a fighter, I fight professionally, but yet I know we don't got to treat each other so bad. We're all in this together, so that's why I'm wearing We Are All One. I just hope that message spreads.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for your talk tonight. Once again, the Phenom James Gray. All right, we're ready to move things right along. And first up, making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Derek. Give him hell, Mandel!
Derek, give him hell, Mandel. After a storied amateur career, accomplished about everything you can accomplish as an amateur. Now 2-0 as a pro, making his way to this TXC cage. I'm always amazed that this guy makes weight, but somehow he pulls it off.
So Derek, talk to me about the outcome of this fight.
I'm going to win. I'm not worried about it.
How are you going to win?
Anywhere it goes. If he wants to go to the ground, submit him, TKO him. If he wants to stand up, we'll get him the knockout.
Making his way to the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, Daniel the Dynamo Winston!
Daniel Winston fighting out of Warrior Way, making his way to the cage for his pro debut, and he has bit off a ton. Derek Mandel, this will be an interesting first fight for him. While we're waiting for him to make his way to the cage, we want to say hello to everyone watching in England, Oklahoma, Georgia, Ottawa, California, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, Virginia. All of our friends out in the Middle East, playing in the sandbox and watching MMA live here back home. And everyone else watching us live on CageFightingLive.com. Trying to bring you the best in mixed martial arts, both amateur and pro. Daniel Winston taking his sweet time getting in the cage here. Trying to cool down Derek Mandel. Good luck.
Big entourage.
Yeah, well, Derek Mandel always 240 volts live.
Our next fight is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed 135 pounds, stands 5 foot 3 inches tall, has an undefeated record of 2 wins, no losses. He is trained by James Benito, Darren Cruikshank, out of Stars and Stripes and Michigan Top Team. He is out of Dearborn. Put your hands together once again for Derek. Give him hell, Mandel! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, also weighing 135 pounds, stands 5 foot 7 inches tall, making his debut in the cage tonight. He has an amateur record of 16 wins, 4 losses. He is trained by Brandon, Angelo, and May T out of Warrior Way. He hails out of Waterford, Michigan. Put your hands together once again for Dynamo Winston! Your referee in charge is Doug Gallegos.
All right, fight fans, when we get started, Derek Mandel fighting out of the red corner in the black compression shorts. Dan Winston fighting out of the blue corner in the blue and white compression shorts. And Dan Winston swimming in the deep water now, 5-minute rounds, making his pro debut here. Quick tap of the gloves, Kara, and away we go.
You know, the crazy thing about Mandel is, he drops 25 pounds to step in here. It's unbelievable, and he didn't even seem, that winded yesterday at the weigh-ins. He just walked in casually. As a wrestler, obviously, used to that.
Used to big cuts, and, he just puts on a little more density every time you see him, though.
Does he ever?
When he was walking out, I was talking about how I just cannot believe that this guy can still make 135 pounds. I couldn't make 135 on the moon.
Were you ever 135?
5th grade, smart.
This is a tough first fight for Dan Winston to take. You're looking at a guy with top-notch wrestling, and he doesn't mind letting his hands go and just bang it out.
No, and as a jiu-jitsu specialist, Winston would naturally want to wind up on his back and play that game. But if you've watched any of the film on Mandel, he does not mind sitting in the guard and just punching your head through the bottom of the floor.
Well, the tricky thing is, you know, with Dan Winston, is he's more well-rounded. He's not, doesn't really have too much of a specialty in one area.
Well, his specialty right now needs to be takedown defense. He needs to keep digging that underhook, keep those legs nice and wide, not let Mandel join his hands together without an underhook. Oh, up and over the top he goes, now holding on to that overhook from side control. Needs to stay on that head, create some space, and try to pull that left leg through. If he stays on a flat back, it's going to be a short night for him, Kara.
You know, I think whenever you do your research and you know you're fighting a wrestler, you have to be in top shape. They just are relentless. It's just nonstop pressure.
Now trying to get him to the side of the cage. For a second there, Dan looked like he was going to be able to stand up, but he's got no pressure on Eric's head. It's real tough to stand up from there unless Eric helps him up, and that's exactly what's going on.
Derek,
I'm sorry. Turning the corner and bringing it back to the ground. You know, Winston's thinking right, bringing those elbows into the side of the head there. At this point, though, Mandel has not done much in the way of actual scoring. He needs to start dropping some leather.
definitely. It's not enough just to gain the position. You've got to do something with it.
Well, he's definitely won in the control battle here at this point. Oh, big knee on the transition, but answering with a few of his own.
No, but those didn't have much on them. He couldn't even get just the range of it as well. And as you said, I mean, Derek Mandel is just so dense. He just absorbed those knees like it was nothing.
Well, Dan Winston shaking his arms out there. Lactic acid going to become an issue the way he was holding on for dear life on the ground.
Dan does a good job, you know, when they do get in close. A couple of times he pushed him off and posted up. But here, closing the gap again is Derek Mandel.
And this time with the outside leg trip.
And you wonder how the blood came on the elbow of Dan Winston.
Winston in a little bit of trouble now, finding himself mounted. And Mandel able to tie off that right arm. Starting to drop some unanswered leather. If he could have continued that, Doug Gallegos would have had no choice but to step in and stop that fight. Able to get to half guard. Now looking for the Kimura. When a guy is as compact and as dense as Mandel is, it's really tough to pull off that Kimura.
That was a massive shot. I mean, he just distributes his weight so well, Mandel does.
Well, Dan Winston in the process of doing what had to be on the top of his things to do list, and that was survive the first round with Derek Mandel.
It's so tough when someone is so good as a wrestler. I mean, Dan wants to stand back up so badly. Even though he's done a lot of jits and he's from a school of jits, he's better on his feet.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mandel will make any jits practitioner look a little bit sloppy because of the fact that he is such a high caliber wrestler. He's constantly making you carry his weight.
And also, I mean, when you're coming in an extra 25 pounds heavier than your opponent, I mean, how do you make up for that?
And it doesn't affect you. You don't. Now you can see across the left side of the temple there the effect those elbows had. That cut open. Fortunately for Dan Winston, it's draining off to the side there. If that were coming down into the eye, could be a potential fight. And another big one. Mandel smells blood going after that cut, Kara.
You know, and he drops it so quickly. There's no hesitation. There's no telegraph. He just drops it quick.
Scoring a few more shots for effect. And there you can see what I mean about how he keeps his weight down as he rode the hips there.
I just feel like for 135, Daniel is a little bit small for 35. When you see some of the guys at 35 that are coming from 55 and 60, he just doesn't seem like he has the density for it.
Well, he was able to get away with that as an amateur. He's going to find now.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, we got the Patino girls walking around. He needs to get on a mass building program.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because guys like Mandel walking around at 160, 165 pounds and then making huge cuts.
Isn't that unbelievable? You know, you think with guys that go into a title match and have to do 5.5s, at what point do you get kind of a crash? Because it's still dropping 25. I don't care, wrestler or not. Even though you know how to do it, it's still so taxing on your body.
Well, that's why you see that those lighter weight classes, at the top levels, those guys aren't very old most of the time.
Yeah,
You'll see mid-30-year-old heavyweights.
Yeah, that's true.
You won't see that 145 pounds, 135 pounds, because it just gets too tough to stay competitive. Quick check of the cage side officials.
Derek Mandel in the red corner in the black compression, and in the blue and white compression, we have Daniel Winston. And this is where he's got to this is where you pot shot. You cannot throw more than one punch or kick. You got to just throw it and go, throw and go. If you wait too long, you're going to get caught.
Well, and you can see.
Right there, see, you can't even have that slight hesitation. You throw your shot, you throw your kick, and you got to go.
And just picking him up with the high crotch and dumping him right back to the ground, beginning the second round, almost where we finished the first round. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of a third round, Kara.
No, and I mean, and Mandel decided at, the first round he wanted to stand a little bit, but then realized, you know what, it's just way more effective.
And you can see Winston, he just tried pulling his hips back, ran into the side of the cage, and he's not going to figure out why, and it's because he's got that right leg bent at the knee, trying to trap Derek Mandel in the half guard there. This is going to get ugly. Oh, easy pass into side control. Keep the weight down. Derek looking to pass now into full mount. Switching sides, Kara. He's running a clinic on the ground over there.
The one thing you can take out of this, if Daniel does come out of here with a loss, MMA is very forgiving. Their fans, they will keep supporting people. Doesn't matter if you're 500. If you come to fight, they will come to support.
Did a great job reestablishing his guard. I'll tell you, the one thing Derek has to work on is fighting when he's inside control. He's stuck in grappler mode, and had he started bringing some elbows, he would not be in guard right now.
I'm surprised he was posted up for a while and he just didn't drop any leather. He was actually getting hit from Daniel from the bottom.
Well, so when he sits like that, he lets reach become an issue. And Dan Winston definitely has the reach advantage on him. Well, we're coming into the dog days of the fight right now. The minute just seems to drag on when they sit there in half guard or guard like that.
It's weird. It's like Mandel's just taunting him, just sitting there, deciding I'm going to fire at will when I feel ready for it, instead of looking to really end this fight.
No, and I'm surprised they've been allowed to continue this long playing patty cake like that in the guard like that. Doug Gallegos needs to get in there and separate these two. Because, sometimes activity is not accomplishment, and they're both moving around a lot, but neither of them are actually doing anything.
Ineffective activity. And and that's where Mandela's just got to bring the heat. I mean, not just one at a time. He's just got to let him go.
I'm really confused by his game plan at this point. It's like the exact opposite of what he accomplished the first round. I don't know if he got a little bit winded and he's trying to recover, or
trying to look at his corner and get some instruction. I think they're probably a little bit stymied of the choices he's been making.
A couple of big shots there.
And that's what he should be bringing constantly.
Well, the thing that Dan Winston has not figured out yet, that you can't set a Kimura on a guy who's going to body lock you when he tries. Nice bait and switch there from Winston. Got to be careful he doesn't give his neck up. And look at the chin rip from the bottom. High-level wrestling there, even off of his back. You watch guys like Eric Moon do that all the time when they have the head. They're not going for the guillotine. They're pulling on the chin to turn the head away and take all your power from you. Now Mandel just looking to stall this out and get back to his feet.
Yeah, the crowd was so excited with that reversal because, you see Dan as the underdog in this fight so far, and let's hope he can make some work of this.
Doug Gallegos telling him stay busy, not being impressed with the body, no headshot that he was seeing there. And almost a nice sweep from Derek Mandel, just his legs just aren't long enough to pull that off. Darren Cruikshank yelling at Derek Mandel, telling him he is not scoring.
That miss just killed him.
He's scoring now.
Wow. That was a devastating miss right there.
Well, he stood up and just slid to the side.
That could have been, the confidence booster or just damaging. Oh, big shot.
Big shot and a little chancery attempt there to try to roll Dan over, but back to his back he goes, and we're going to finish this round the same way we finished the first round. 10 seconds here, but this fight so far very one-sided.
I know, but I'm surprised we've made it out of round 2.
Well, Derek Mandel spent minutes 2, 3, and 4 doing nothing. I don't know what the game plan was.
That's why I'm so surprised by it. I mean, he's had position the whole time. He's had the advantage the whole time. And then obviously in this sport, you have to be a finisher because at any moment, someone could come in there and finish you off. One sneaky move.
It may be something as simple for Derek Mandel as the fact that this is only his 3rd pro fight, and he's still getting used to those 5-minute rounds. So he's trying to conserve a little bit of energy here. But you're absolutely right. One errant shot with a 4-ounce glove, and you got a loss in the column.
But you would think that you're being trained by a UFC vet, Darren Cruikshank. You know, these guys have trained you to go 5. They've trained you to understand what 5s are. You know, there's no excuses by this point. You know, it's no question. It's no surprise. It's like, oh, you drew 5-minute round out of a hat. Surprise. You know, I've got to say, the difference between boxing and MMA, these I don't like the tap of the hands before a round. I can't stand that. I was trained before my very first amateur fight in boxing, let alone pro, to never touch hands, just shake it off. We don't need to be friends. Not till the end.
I don't think you're going to single-handedly change that.
I think they should eliminate it. They should make it policy.
Plenty of state officials here.
Man, you know, Mandel will just take a shot to give a shot. He just will sit in the pocket, take a shot, and put his head down and go forward.
Because he's never really been tested on his chin yet. As he starts climbing up the ladder here, that was a nice little, took his head offline and threw that overhand right that landed clean.
And he did it the right way, too.
What, head first?
Well,
move the head out of the way first and then throw?
But at least he dipped to the left. A lot of people try and throw that as a quote-unquote right hook, which is completely wrong. Oh, throwing the leg kick and coming with the overhand right again. And Dan's got to be careful. I mean, you have a guy game to stand with you. Don't fall into his trap, though.
Well, Dan making the mistake that a lot of new pros make. He's leaving that kick hanging there.
Well, and the other thing, too, with a guy like this, you have to feint. You just got to throw a feint out there and let him commit to something, and then you can tag him. Because, you know, Mandel's going to just drop his head and start throwing.
The pace of this fight, Kara, just a lot slower than I expected out of Derek Mandel.
Well, I think a lot of, you know, strategy playing a role. He's just thinking a lot. But, you know, Mandel's showing he's going to be an exciting fighter to watch once he does pick up the pace and the intensity. Because he will stand and bang, and he will go to the ground.
I'll tell you what, he took Winston down like Winston was a tackling dummy.
Yeah.
Absolutely no defense from Winston on the way down there.
And especially coming from being an all-state wrestler, he's so comfortable in this zone. And when he took him down, he wasn't even worried about anything.
I'll tell you what, though, hats off to Dan Winston for taking a tough first fight. Probably a little tougher than I would have let him take if I were in his camp over there. Oh, big elbow right on that cut again. Look to see that start flowing.
And that's where you have to be careful sometimes as a coach. You know, how much confidence do you have in your fighter versus where are they really at?
But beyond that, when you're talking about pro MMA fighters, your record is your paycheck. You wind up 0-2, 0-3.
Huge bloody mess now, getting caught in the nose. It's just dripping. A lot of times a sign of a dripping nose is a sign of a broken nose. When it comes out like a faucet like that.
I would say it's dripping a little more than the coffee maker. It's coming out pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's no quitting this kid, man. You're going to have to shut his lights off to finish him. So he's got that going for him. Oh, look at those short elbows followed by some short lefts.
And this is the intensity. I mean, I guess he sees and smells the blood. He's going for it.
And you can see the deep wrestling background. He gets a front headlock, and he doesn't think of submission. He just right back to his wrestling roots. I don't even know what to say anymore at this point. It looks like a slaughterhouse
Well,
in there right now.
Dan is a warrior. Like, look at him. You know, we've seen some guys just quit way before they've been this deep in the water.
Absolutely no quit in him, and in a lot of trouble here. Mounted. Coming up on the final minute.
I would think the ref has to be nice and close, and because this is just getting a little bit too ugly. Especially when you're at the point where you're down 2 rounds and now you're just getting pummeled. You get to the point of like, ooh, there was such a massive left hand that just landed down the pipe, and I mean, his nickname's the Danimal, and I mean, just in his no quit alone, unbelievable.
Looking for a rear naked now without his hooks.
I think he's just so strong that he can pull off.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and at this point, Dan Winston, when you're in pure defense mode like that, you don't think about those things like the fact that you don't feel any hooks. That left eye of his beat up all around. Big cut over the top of the brow ridge now, cut on the temple. Mouse under that left eye. Derek Mandel making short or dirty work of debut fighter in the Dan Winston there. Moving to 3-0 and making it look easy. I'll tell you what, it's all hands on deck, cleaning up that blood on the vinyl of the cage floor there.
And your winner with 4 minutes and 4 seconds in the third round by rear naked choke. Put your hands together for Derek. Give him hand and down. Let's hear it for Dan Winston as well. All right, Derek, congratulations, man. You are a tough dude in there. It seemed like you kind of rested a little bit in that second round. Talk to me about that.
I was just working on my timing, looking for my openings, seeing what I could get him with. And later on in the fight, I picked him apart, seeing what he was making mistakes and capitalized on it.
Now, were you surprised that he actually stuck in it for this long?
Oh yeah, he's a really tough kid. He's a good fighter. What you need to make it in this sport, and he got it.
Now, Derek, talk to me about this fight. How do you feel about your performance and moving on to being 3-0 now?
I feel good about the performance. Always could be better. Cardio could be better. Striking could be better. Ground game could be better. Got a lot to work on. So that's why I got a great group of guys that I train with. Awesome gym. A lot of good coaches.
Yeah, talk to me about the gym you train with and the coaches as well. And what does it do for your confidence to have, UFC vet Darren Cruikshank in your corner?
It's awesome. Stars and Strikes. James Beneteau, great coach. All my guys that Stars and Strikes that helped me, awesome. Michigan top team, Darren Cruikshank, Cody Stamen, all the guys that helped me there. I mean, I just got a great group of guys behind me that teach me new stuff every day.
Well, I think after this fight, some of the guys are going to be pretty concerned to face you. I mean, you can stand up, you bang, you take a shot to give a shot, and it's kind of unbelievable. And you drop about 25 pounds. How do you recover so quickly?
I just working the diet, eating good nutrients after the weight cut, just maintaining your cardio and trying to do it the right way.
Now, Derek, is there anyone out there that you want to see here in the cage at 135?
Anyone that wants to fight me, I'm in. Whoever they put in front of me, I'll fight. Doesn't matter who.
All right, do you have anyone to thank?
Yep, like I said, Stars and Strikes, Michigan top team, James Beneteau, Darren Cruikshank, Cody Stamen, all the guys that helped me in the gym, Fisher, everybody, all my coaches that I got behind me.
Well, congratulations on great work tonight.
Thank you.
All right, once again, Derek Mandel.
Did you see the season finale?
I forgot to DVR it.
Don't sweat it, you can just catch up on demand.
I can't do that with satellite.
Well, with Xfinity On Demand, all the latest episodes are right there for you. Am I right, Terry?
Time to man up.
I'm ready to man up. Hey, dude.
You talking to me, dude?
No. I was talking to Terry.
Time to man up.
Listen to Terry.
Awesome is catching up on the latest shows from the top 4 networks with Xfinity. Sign up for a great offer today. Call 1-800-XFINITY.
The boys are back. The Detroit Waza home opener is on November 9th. Pro Arena Soccer at its finest. Single seats start at $8. Season tickets only $100. Get your tickets now. Go to DetroitWaza.com or call 313-477-5721.
All right, Joe, let's quickly break down some of these fights we saw tonight. Some exciting fights and then some quick knockouts. So let's go with Cody Stamann and Adam Alvarez.
Well, it looks like, Cody, he came into this fight and it looked like he wanted to get some work in. He probably could have came out much quicker than he did, but it looked like he was moving around, getting his feeling, getting some experience. There's no sense in going out there and trying to, beat somebody in 30 seconds. He tried to get some work in. I think he did a really good job.
And he kind of looked like he put a highlight reel together. Tried some of those moves that maybe are a little bit riskier with a higher level opponent, but it's good to kind of get that experience in there. Okay, let's move to Anthony Smith and John Schultz.
This also was a good fight. Anthony Smith is coming off his first win. He's bigger than John Schultz. John Schultz usually fights at 55, but he took this fight on short notice. So, I didn't know going into this fight, how it was going to turn out. But John Schultz's experience definitely showed in this fight.
All right, and let's talk about Ryan Pokrivki and Derek Weaver. That fight, oh my goodness. I mean, you just never knew from one second to the next what was going to happen there.
I agree. It was back and forth the whole fight. You never knew who the edge was going to be. When Ryan got hit with that knee, I thought that could have been it, but it showed his heart. And
How
he came
did he
right
recover
back.
from that? I have no idea. Steve and I were sitting right there, and I saw everything happen. It was about a foot away from us. He just looked over at us and smiled, and I didn't know if that smile was that he was out unconscious on his feet,
or
if he was right, or if he was like, I'm good. I mean, that was phenomenal that he bounced back from that.
He's got great coaching. He had good cornermen. They're telling him you're fine. Relax, rest on him for a little while. He kind of hung on him, got his wits about him, and then we know how the fight ended.
All right, well, he's definitely going to feel that tomorrow, but he's going to feel it with his the W behind him. That's great stuff. James Gray and Andrew Ventimiglia.
This fight didn't go the way I thought it would. James Gray, I know, is a great grappler, but I think the ring rust did show with Andrew. James really made this fight look easy. He did get hit a couple of times really hard. Then he winded up catching the takedown, and once he got the takedown, that was it. That was the end of it. Andrew didn't have any answer.
Yeah, I think that the trick with James Gray is he always makes it look easy, as if jits is just something that anyone can pick up because he's just so natural at it. But I look forward to seeing him again and with some other guys because I think he can really face up with some of the tougher guys. Even some of the guys on the card earlier tonight, it would be nice to see those two matched up.
I agree. With Cody, Cody won his fight. And, if he doesn't fight Jeremy Karzicki in February, well, then, maybe the James Gray and Cody fight will happen then. I think it's a great matchup.
Now let's talk about Derek Mandell and Daniel Winston. I mean, ended up looking one-sided, but you couldn't really anticipate that going in other than the size that Derek Mandell was bringing in.
I agree. I mean, on paper, this was a great fight. This was an excellent matchup. I thought, I thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive, but, the size I think it played the biggest role in this whole fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's exciting stuff. Now, what's really exciting, what I've anticipated as one of the fights of the night, we have Drew Hellner and Justin James. Justin James coming in from Vegas, training with Team Couture down there. And Drew Hellner, one of my favorite amateur fighters. We had him on our TXC cards. He was a TXC champ. He is great on his feet. He's great on the ground. And tell me about this fight.
This is an exciting fight because it really can go either way. Justin's training with the best guys in the world at Extreme Couture, so, he should bring a lot to the table. But Drew he's no chump. I mean, Drew's got great wrestling, great striking. He also comes from a great camp. He took this fight on short notice, but, I look at this as the upset of the night, and I think Drew's the sleeper in this fight.
All right, well, let's go check out Justin James versus Drew Hellner.
All right, guys, we're going to have one more fight and then a brief intermission and then our co-main and main event where we have Shamir and Josh Burns and the co-main and the main event. It is going to be on fire. But this fight has been booked to be one of the best fights of the night as well. These guys were the toughest amateurs around. They had amateur belts strapped around them. So we're excited to bring you this next fight of the evening. Once again, this fight is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. First up, Making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Drew Hellner!
Drew Hellner making his way to the cage. We've seen a lot of him in this TXC cage. Most of his amateur career was fought right there on that TXC canvas. His pro debut a little over a year ago. Legends 1 in Taylor, Michigan, where he came away with the win. Took a bit of a hiatus and then decided he was going to get back in regularly and get himself another fight. And again, stepping up big. Take a fight with Justin James.
And his opponent making his way to the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, Justin James!
Justin James coming to the cage, showing a record of 2-0, but he had about 1 million amateur fights. He fought everybody everywhere. I was wondering if he ever would actually go pro. And since he's gone pro, he spent about a total of 2 minutes in the cage to accumulate those 2 wins. Last fight, 35-second KO in the first round against Justin Zeno.
All right, fight fans, this fight is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 161 pounds, stands 5 foot 11 inches tall, comes to us with an undefeated record of 1 win, no loss, trained by Glenn Quinn out of the System, the Fight Club, and Bushido Ypsilanti. He is out of Brighton, Michigan. Put your hands together for Dangerous Drew Hellner! To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, also weighing 161 pounds, stands 5 foot 7 inches tall, comes to us with a record of 3 wins, 1 loss, trained by Martin Campman, James Lee, Robert Bellis, and Dennis Davis. He is out of Extreme Couture in Vegas, and James Lee MASH Fight Team. He is representing Richmond, Michigan. Put your hands together for Justin. Just came here to punch someone in the face. James! Your referee in charge is Mark Fennell.
All right, fight fans, when we get started here, Drew Hellner fighting out of the red corner. White Venom shorts trimmed in camo and black. Justin James fighting out of the blue corner in the red Olivet college compression shorts. Olivet, where he spent his collegiate wrestling career. And Kara, the thing that concerns me most for Drew Hellner here is that he tends to get a little lackadaisical, and against a guy who pushes the pace like Justin James, that could be deadly.
Yeah, and Justin has so much experience, and he's worked so hard on his stand-up game as well as, the wrestling background he has from Olivet College. But, Drew, we've seen him in the amateurs, and he's so well-rounded, too, and he's so rangy. He does a good job with his range.
What he's doing really good job with against Justin James is keeping him out with that straight kick and then the side kick. Not that round kick. That's going to get him taken to the ground. But if he can keep throwing the straight front kick and then that straight side kick. Oh, looking to attack the base leg. Almost chopped the legs out from underneath Justin James. Have you ever seen a guy who had so many amateur fights as Justin James? Must have had about 1 million of them.
Well, and that's the tricky thing. When you start early in your collegiate career and you can't turn pro or else you lose your scholarship, and that's what happens.
Excellent takedown defense from Drew Hellner there. Needs to start digging that underhook. Holding on to the head of Justin James is not going to accomplish it. There he goes into the air and right to the ground. Immediately fishing for the arm, though, Kara.
Well, the great thing is that they both have this wrestling background, so you're not going to get away with some of the stuff with Drew Hellner that you would with somebody else.
Now, but the war of attrition does favor Justin James. Right now, Drew needs to be paying more attention to using that arm to either sweep or get up and not give up his back.
You said that a little too late.
Good job going to his feet. Now we'll see some wrestling come in as he peels those hands off.
Justin's a little bit heavier than we've seen him. Quite often he makes 55 without a problem, but, coming in at 161, he said he didn't really diet for this.
Well, just raw power there. Drew Hellner tried defending that takedown by hitting the switch, or at least getting that arm in there for it, and James just picked him right up and pulled him over. Now into a firm back control. Drew never really feels threatened here. He does a good job of controlling the gloves. Now look, he's going to start to turn. He's going to come out on top here. I'll tell you what, he's looking a little crisper than we've seen him in the past. That year off has done him some good.
We've always been impressed with his fighting. We've always been impressed with his stand-up game, his ground game.
Now looking to turn the tables on Justin. Got to be careful if he's going to fish for that choke. He can't let Justin rotate to his back. He needs to soften him up a little bit. Oh, that choke's in deep, Kara.
Well, Justin better fight it off because Drew's mouth is wide open, so he looks a little more winded. So if Justin can, do something here and make something else happen, he may have the advantage.
Well, now he's on the gloves, so Drew needs to go to plan B, think about turning off of that. He's actually just taking a break right now. That's pretty smart. Take advantage of this 5-minute round. Hope that arm can slip a little further across the neck of Justin James. And doing a good job switching back and forth with him. But these guys are playing chess right now. Every time Justin gets a glove, Drew switches arms and Justin grabs the other glove.
Drew doesn't have the depth, of fights that Justin James has, but the people he's fought, in the fights that he did have, would make him a successful pro.
Again, content to take his time. Now transitioning back into mount. Needs to score from here. He lost the hook here. Justin's going to stand right up out of that. Doing a good job rolling through, but both of these guys, and that's what I always enjoyed about Drew when he was an amateur, his ability to transition and not lose position. Mm-hmm. And most guys would be back on their feet right now against Justin James, and he did a great job not losing too much position. He's back in a front headlock position. Now looking to set up an anaconda here. Real tough against the guy as wide, but he's got it deep, Kara.
You know, you wonder sometimes if the flight, plays a factor. Justin flew in on Thursday for his fight tonight. You know, it's a 5-hour flight. It just does. It's a little bit taxing when you come in.
Able to
from
pull
Vegas.
his arm out and stay off of that. Justin just so thick through there. It's really tough to set that. And Drew wisely not overcommitting to it and burning himself out.
Justin making sure he has 3 points down. So.
But you see what Drew did? He just switched and kneed him right in the thigh.
Mm-hmm.
These guys both out there playing chess, but it's getting a little bit boring as chess does sometimes. 10 seconds left. How do you score this round, Kara Rowe?
I mean, I think Drew being the aggressor, I mean, he's the one that had some great transitions and seemed to be in the dominant position majority of the time.
He landed some leather, but I'll tell you what, James was doing a good job of throwing those punches while he had his back taken and landed a few flush.
You know, the concern right now is the conditioning. Because Drew's been off for a year, he just looked at Glenn Quinn, his coach, just with those eyes that like, shoot, man, I'm tired. I am fatigued. So we'll see how fresh he can come in for that next round. You know, he takes the first round, but we'll see. I mean, what a great corner we're seeing for Justin James as well. I mean, he's got these, Martin Campman, he's got James Lee. And I've been in the corner, worked the corner with James before, obviously me being the stand-up, but James just second-by-second instructions on how to get out of any submission. It's unbelievable. He's Houdini. I mean, he's a great person to have in his corner.
It looked like Mark Fennell took a point from somebody for grabbing the cage.
I only saw him warn them once, so I can't imagine a point being taken.
Well, it was in stealth mode, that's for sure.
Well, here we go with round number 2. And out of the red corner, we have Drew Hellner in the Venom shorts, and we have Justin James in the blue corner in the red compression trunks. Oh, nice post out to try and, keep that range. Justin wants to use his hands a little bit too, and probably saw that Drew was a pretty solid wrestler as well. And that range of Drew, oh man, and these guys are just throwing leather that are just haymakers. They're trying to hurt each other. Dynamite on everything. See, it's not shallow records, but these guys are high-level fighters. I mean, they're very skilled.
They both had a ton of amateur fights, and they both come from very established and high-level camps.
Yeah. Justin obviously having a lot more confidence in his hands. I mean, we didn't see him stand up this much in the past.
Drew again going back to that straight side kick, needs to stay with that. I'd actually prefer to see him just using that kick right there.
Well, we see a lot of his, karate and wrestling coming out when he fights.
Well, you can see the experience on him also because he's only throwing kicks like that, those high kicks, the round kicks, when he's got Justin backing up.
Just the breathing of Drew is what the concern is, I think. That big open mouth, taking big breaths. What a great fight for this crowd.
Oh, you can tell he's getting tired. He left that kick out there.
At any time, when you see guys hanging their punches or kicks out.
Justin unable to do anything with it, finding himself back on the canvas in a front headlock again. And Drew, you can see him breathing now, taking this time to actually regain a little bit of wind here.
Oh, and Justin James catching him.
He tried rotating to the back too soon and got caught for it. That's all athleticism on the part of Justin James. Nice back elbow there that'll score.
This is a great fight. I mean, not only just strategically, just these guys just both trying to do everything with dynamite.
Well, Drew needs to just drag that left elbow in and try to turn back in there. I don't know who initiated that, Kara. It looked like Drew initiated that transition to the ground, thinking he could roll it through, but Justin on him like a backpack, unable to accomplish anything other than switching positions from where we saw Justin in the first round. Drew also doing a real good job of fighting the gloves there, and then taking time to punch when he knows Justin's got his hands tied together in a seatbelt. Got to be careful, got to keep him on those gloves, can't let that choke sit in. And this is where technique can be deceived by strength because Justin's so very strong, able to get the choke.
Wow.
And it happening quicker than I could talk about it. You know, Justin just so strong, able to wrestle those gloves away from Drew and get the tap. Well, I doubt we'll see Drew Hellner take another year off before getting back in the cage. Drew's coach Glenn Quinn passing the table here, said not bad for a few weeks of training. But I'd like to see Drew have a full camp next time because he can be exciting. Always the gentleman, both of these guys. Justin James moving that pro record, the official pro record, to 3-0. All right, into the cage, Kara K.O. Rowe with your official TXC decision.
And your winner with 2 minutes and 48 seconds in the second round by rear naked choke. Give it up for Justin. Just came here to punch some more. James. Congratulations, buddy. You came here to show us your stuff all the way from Vegas. You know, we're happy to have you here and representing Richmond. Talk to me about this fight.
Man, it was a short notice fight for both of us. Didn't even do 155, we did 161 because we get a short notice. He was a tough cat, man. Couldn't find any film on him, really didn't know what to expect. Unorthodox and just all around good fighter.
Yeah, what was the trickiest part about this fight for you? Because it seemed like you guys are both trying to figure each other out.
For me, I couldn't find any film on him. I mean, I didn't know what he looked like until the weigh-in. I've never seen a picture of the guy before. I looked for video, couldn't find any video. So that was the hard part.
Justin, talk to me about your corner and what does that do for your confidence when you guys have like Martin Campman and you have James Lee in your corner?
James, obviously a legend from Michigan, UFC vet, helped me ever since I very first started. You know, Martin Campman, taken many beatings from him, you know, earned a little of his respect, so he come out here to help me out. I greatly appreciate it.
Now talk to me about your career thus far. You've had an opportunity to fight in Hawaii and Scotland. Now you're back home, and you know what's it been like being like a journeyman?
You know, I just like to, you know, when I look back, I want to make sure I did. You know, I experienced everything. I just don't want to fight at local shows, the same people over and over. Not saying I don't like to do that because I do, but I want to travel. August 2nd, I was in Scotland, got to fight over there. August 24th, I was in Hawaii, got to fight there. Now I'm back in my hometown, Michigan, so I'd love to put on a show for you guys.
And talk to me, you know, about the people you have to thank. I know you have a lot of people that came out to support you as well.
I mean, we got Amol's Bar here. We got Dr. Stopa. That'll help me out in the back. Their self-equipment company helping me. If you could read the back of my shirt real quick.
Oh boy. The legendary Emos, Extreme Couture, Self-Equipment, and WTFclothing.com.
Yeah, so you know, in a fight sometimes I don't remember all of them, so. But they all help me, you know. I just appreciate everyone's help and support.
All right, well, congratulations. Picking another W. You are 4-1 now, Justin.
Yep, 4-1. Thank you, everyone.
Once again, Justin James. All right, we're going to move over and talk to Drew Hellner, and someone I always say that I'm so excited to have an opportunity to watch him fight. So well-rounded. Talk to me about this fight, Drew.
I'm a little disappointed with the loss, but I feel good with my performance. I didn't take any damage, really, but I definitely was about to go unconscious from the choke, and that's a lot of fun.
Now, I know you've been off for a year. What was the trickiest part about being back here again? You know, was the conditioning a bit of a factor?
Yeah, I found out I was fighting 2 weeks ago, and this kid's a monster. Looks like a brick crap house, but I'm working.
Way to keep it PG, thanks.
Working on my master's degree in science, so it's taking a lot out of me. And, but I love fighting, so I want to fight.
Well, we're so happy to have you back here in the ring, Drew. Anyone you need to thank?
My family, my friends from Eastern that came out, my friends from Grand Rapids that came out to see me, my friends from AA, they're here. So.
You had a meeting beforehand, I hope. Well, we're so happy to have you, and we look forward to seeing you again, Drew.
Thank you.
All right, Drew Helmer.
Well, Joel, that was exciting. We anticipated the excitement, and you know what? It was kind of a little bit of a shock because I think Drew actually might have won that first round.
I think he won the first round hands down. I mean, I think Drew would have won this whole fight had he been in a little bit better shape. He took this fight on short notice, 2 weeks out, and nobody would fight Justin James on 2 weeks' notice, and he did, and he looked great in the first round, and I think he just got a little gassed.
You know, and I do look forward to seeing both of these guys in the future. That's exciting stuff. Now, we move on to our co-main event, and we do have Shamir Garcia. You know, the funny thing about Shamir is I didn't know he was a fighter. He was always working the shows with us, but it was because no one would fight him. So I do look forward to seeing this fight tonight.
It's a great fight. You know, he's only got one fight as a pro, but you have, Ryan Sheeper, who has 30 fights. Everyone was looking at us like, why could you put this fight together? This guy has 30 fights. He only has one fight. And it's like, because we know the fighters. We're not looking just at the records, but we know this is a good matchup for Shamir.
Well, we anticipate this being very loud out there. The crowd is hyped for this fight. So here we go with Ryan Sheeper and Shamir Garcia.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the fights you have all been waiting for. I know he's got tons of fans out there ready to raise their flags. Here we go with our next fight of the evening. First up, making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Ryan, the Grim Reaper Sheeper.
Ryan Sheeper making his way to the cage with over 60 professional MMA fights. 29 wins, 32 losses, 3 draws. He's been at this over 15 years, fighting out of the military camp. Coming to us from Loudon, Iowa. Definitely a journeyman at this point. Taking his time, making his way to the cage. Some guys really like the walkout sound. They want to play as long as possible.
Question, do I have any Puerto Ricans in the house? Next up, fighting out of the blue corner, put your hands together for Shamir Garcia!
My predictions for this fight is to win this fight by any means possible. I want to bring back the W back to Detroit, Cooper's Gym, and to all my friends and family out in the crowd tonight. I don't really have a plan. I'm just trying to get out there and do what I got to do.
Shamir Garcia and Cooper's Gym definitely well represented here in this crowd today. Shamir was an incredibly exciting amateur, and he's off to an outstanding start as a professional. 2-0, both of those wins coming first round knockouts about halfway through the round. Shamir Garcia does a lot of things very well, but one thing he does better than most others is he knocks people out. And He can do it with his hands. He can do it with his feet.
All right, fight fans, here we go. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he stands 6 foot 4 inches tall, weighed 198 pounds. He comes to us with 64 professional fights. He's had 2 pro belts. He is trained by Gary Schroeder out of MMAG. Put your hands together for Ryan, the Grim Reaper Sheeper! And to my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 foot 11 inches tall, weighed 204 pounds. He comes to us with an undefeated record of 2 wins, no losses. He is trained by Al Cooper out of Cooper's Gym in Detroit, Michigan. Put your hands together for Shamir Bam Bam Garcia! Your referee in charge is Mark Fennell.
All right, fight fans, when we get started, Ryan Sheepler in the white bad boy fight shorts. Shamir Garcia in the blue fight shorts. And don't blink, Shamir Garcia 2-0, never been out of the first round, 2 knockouts. Ryan Sheepler gonna try to stand in there and trade with Shamir. Not a good idea.
No, I mean, Shamir's a beast. I remember thinking that he didn't even fight because he was always helping, but it was because no one would fight him. He was always helping us.
He had more trouble getting amateur fights than any 3 guys I've ever seen. Ryan Sheepler wisely looking to take it to the ground, but unable to control Shamir. Shamir looking to set up for a second there. He was looking to set up a choke from the top. Bails on it. Got to be careful now. You got a guy underneath you with limbs that long and a little bit of skill to take away space. You can get swept in a hurry. You can see Shamir now was trying to move the whole thing over to his corner because he's finding himself a little bit stymied by what Ryan's doing on the bottom there. Not in any bit of danger, but...
But you think with the height of Shamir, he'd have to, work on his ground game a lot, even though he's so solid standing. Oh, he's just vicious shots coming down. People don't understand how heavy that leather was. Like, I could feel it vibrate from here.
One big right, and Ryan Sheepler was immediately tapping. And I wouldn't be surprised where that punch landed. Something in that face cracked, an orbital or something like that. Guys think they've been hit, and then they take one from Shamir Garcia, and then they know what it's like to be hit. Tap out due to Shamir was beating my head through the canvas floor. Certainly not the first time we've seen that. Into the cage, Kara KO roll with your official TXC decision.
All right, fight fans, your winner with 1 minute 25 seconds in the first round by TKO, Shamir Bam Bam Garcia! All right, Shamir, congratulations. I mean, we never see you get out of that first round. We kind of take bets on how quick in the first round you're going to end the misery for your opponent. People don't understand how hard those shots were. It only took a couple because we could feel the vibration from where we were sitting. Talk to me about this 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Oh, I didn't know it was that fast. But really, I just got to thank God, Cooper's Gym, Sensei Cooper. Red team, gold team, all the black belts, everybody else in the gym. You know, really, at Cooper's Gym, we're more like a family than a fight team, to be honest with you.
Now talk to me about your training leading up to this point, because I know you train hard for every fight. It doesn't matter who your opponent is.
Yeah, I train 7 days a week. I don't take a day off. The only time I take any time off is when I sleep, and I'm still shadow boxing probably, so.
Well, for me, the funny thing about Shamir is he would always help us backstage, and I didn't know he could fight, but it was because no one would fight him. And then I saw him, and he just smashed somebody to the next universe. It's unbelievable. Now, do you guys ever get concerned, you and Mr. Al Cooper, about people actually taking fights?
Oh, not at all. I wish they would. You know, if I could fight back to back, that would be perfect. I don't mind fighting next weekend, to be honest with you. I love to fight.
Well, Shamir, we definitely know you have the fan base to keep supporting you, that's for sure. What do you have to work on from this point on, Shamir?
You know, I live by if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do, training 7 days a week under Sensei Cooper and all my teammates and my family. And I'm just going to keep pushing forward.
So how did you accumulate this ridiculous fan base out here? They're unbelievable. They're supportive, they're loud, they're crazy. How did you accumulate all of them?
Well, honestly, you know, if you're genuinely nice and courteous to people, people are going to love you for who you are. And I think all these people here, not only just from Facebook or random meetings or anyway. People tend to like me because I'm just genuine and courteous, and that's the name of the game right there.
Now, is there anyone else that you have to thank other than Sensei Al Cooper?
I want to thank GPG. I want to thank Mr. Joe Battaglia for giving me the opportunity here in Michigan. I love to fight here so everybody can come out and see me fight. Sensei Cooper and Cooper's Gym, obviously. Yes. They're the heart of my soul, and my soul is at the gym right now, even though I'm right here. Cooper's Gym is family, and that's the way it should be.
Well, congratulations. It was an honor to see you fight against Shamir.
Thank you. One more thing, I want to thank my sponsors, Technical Hot and Cold, as well as Ambassador Paint and Maintenance. And really, I just want you guys to make some noise again. I love hearing it.
Once again, Shamir Bam Bam Garcia!
I'm looking forward to this one, too. Let's see what Josh Burns has to say about this fight tonight. Hey, fight fans, I'm here with Josh the Hammer Burns, ready for his fight against Matt Eckerly. Now, this will be your 12th pro fight, but you have been off for a year. Why is that?
Just taking time off with the family.
Okay, now what are your expectations for this fight?
Just go and do work, get it done quick, and go home.
So do you think that year off will affect you at all, or are you just super hungry to get back in the cage?
I don't think it's going to affect me. I'm pretty hungry, and I'm surrounded by a great team, a Michigan top team, so I've got a lot of good training partners. I'll be ready.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about your training. You know, who you've had a chance to spar with. You're a big dude. It's hard to find guys your size.
I got a lot of guys. Got Leroy Johnson, Ryan. Can never pronounce his last name, but I call him Pokey. So and Big Ray Richella, and just a lot of good guys. John Toth. So I'm good.
So what are your expectations out of Matt? Obviously, I've seen him fight before. He likes to stand up a lot. Now, are you prepared for the stand-up game?
Absolutely. That's what we want. We want a stand-up game. Put on a good show for the fans.
Yeah, and what are your predictions for the end of this fight?
Knockout.
What round?
First round.
First round. You want to make it quick. You're the main event, so you don't want to drag it out. You want to get everyone out of there quick. Great happy ending.
Absolutely.
Happy ending. That sounded wonderful, didn't it?
Absolutely. Nice.
Okay, now tell me a little bit more about, all the people coming out to support you. I hear you just have the whole crowd that has your back.
Yeah, we got the whole Patino Diet family coming out. A lot of the teammates are going to be on this card as well. So there's got a few hundred people that are going to be out there, so we got to put on a good show and make sure that we perform.
Now, you being the main event, how tough is it going to be not to watch your teammates beforehand and just stay focused and get ready?
It's going to be hard at all. I'm going to watch them, cheer them on, and watch them knock their guys out, and then I'll do the same.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Josh the Hammer Burns.
The boys are back. The Detroit Waza home opener is on November 9th. Pro Arena Soccer at its finest. Single seats start at $8. Season tickets only $100. Get your tickets now. Go to DetroitWaza.com or call 313-477-5721.
All right, well, a quick fight in the books for Shamir Garcia, but that's no surprise. I mean, this guy doesn't ever get out of the first round. He always has his hand raised at the end. And the pounding that Ryan took, I mean, he just basically submitted saying, I just can't take anymore.
Shamir hits like a ton of bricks. He trains hard. He's in the gym every single day. He does a ton of charity work. I mean, this guy's going to go a long way. Shamir has it all. He's good on the ground. He's a solid wrestler. He's extremely strong, and he's a great striker. I see him going very far.
Well, a lot of work, too, for his gym with Al Cooper and for you as a promoter, Joe, that you have to try and get him fights. You have to try and build his record, but it's kind of tricky to find guys that are going to fight Shamir because his reputation really far exceeds, what his record looks like right now.
I agree. I mean, he hits hard. It's really hard to find opponents for Shamir.
Well, we're going to move on to another heavyweight fight. This is our main event of the evening. And, Josh Burns amped up to fight tonight. This whole crowd is amped up to see Josh fight. He's been so excited. I had a chance to speak to him, but before we go to Josh, talk to me about this fight with Matt Eckerly.
This is a great fight. Matt Eckerly's coming off a big win, a big knockout against Van Swerden, who's no joke. He was the favorite, so he upset Advance in that fight. Josh has been training really hard. I've done a lot of work with, Dr. Frank Patino and the Patino Diet, which sponsors Josh Burns, and he's put a lot of work into this fight, so I'm really excited to see it.
All right, let's head over to see Matt Eckerly taking on Josh Burns.
Are you guys ready for the main event of the evening? This fight is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. Make sure you check them out. First up in our main event, fighting out of the red corner, making his way to the cage. Put your hands together for the monster, Matt Eckerly.
Matt Eckerly making his way to the cage, 2-4. As a professional mixed martial artist, I've also had the opportunity to see him kickbox a little. Now he hasn't fought in over a year. The last time he fought, we saw him right here in TXC Legends 1. Where he knocked Van Swerden out in a controversial situation there. Van Swearden getting caught up with referee Mark Fennell. Mark got his foot caught under Vance's. And as Vance got a little stretched out, his hips went back, his hands came down, and Eckerly one-timed him into nighty-night. He hadn't had a fight since then, so coming off a win, but it's been a long time. Since he's been in an MMA cage, but again, he's been out boxing and kickboxing, working his stand-up, trying to stay sharp.
And his opponent, the man you've been waiting for, put your hands together, fighting out of the blue corner, Josh the Hammer Burns!
Josh Burns comes to us at 5-4, but that's a little deceptive. His last 3 fights.
What are your predictions for the end of this fight?
Knockout.
What round?
First round.
Kugel on his knees, not a good place to be. Josh Burns teeing off. He's hurt. Hammer fists on the body. He's got him hurt. Kugel is hurt. And the fight is stopped. The fight is stopped. Josh Burns wins in the first round.
Josh Burns comes to us at 5-4, but that's a little deceptive. His last 3 fights, losses, and it's been a couple years since he's won a fight. Against Jeff Kugel. He's had a little bit of a mixed career. Fighter Wes Sims in the entourage of Josh Burns there as he gets greased up before his final inspection.
Our main event of the evening is brought to you by PatinoDiet.com. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, he weighs 240 pounds, stands 5'9" tall, comes to us with 6 professional fights. Out of Midland, Michigan, he's a pro boxer and pro kickboxer. Put your hands together for Matt Eckerly. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed 239 solid pounds. He stands 5'11" tall, comes to us with a record of 7 wins, 4 losses. He is trained by Mark Coleman out of Michigan Top Team. He hails from Detroit, Michigan. Put your hands together once again for Josh the Hammer Burns.
All right, fight fans, when we get started,
Let the battle begin.
Matt Eckerly fighting out of the red corner in the white Everlast boxing shorts. Josh Burns out of the blue corner in the black, trimmed with white Muay Thai shorts. And don't let the smooth taste fool you. Matt Eckerly can put his hands together.
Yeah, he sure can. I'm sure you mentioned the Vance Swearden knockout.
Yeah, as well as the controversy that went along with it.
Oh, Oh my God, are you serious? Do you know how solid that jab was? Look at him go to work.
Doug Gallegos needs to get in there
Oh
like
my
10 minutes ago.
gosh.
Not even breaking a sweat.
Wow.
Got to get Josh Burns some lessons in winning, though. Now, just as I was about to admire Eckerly's footwork, he got dropped with a vicious straight left. And then a follow-up barrage. And he still doesn't know if it's 2 o'clock or Tuesday as the Cage Side medical staff gets in there to make sure he's okay. And here on the replay, watch this jab. Just drops him. And wasted no time getting in there and finishing the job. Josh Burns making it look easy.
All right, fight fans, in your main event of the evening, your winner with 15, 1.5 seconds in the first round, referee stopped due to strike. Put your hands together for Josh, the Hammer Burns! All right, Josh. Congratulations. I mean, you started the fight with the sickest jab I've ever seen. I mean, all 240 pounds behind that jab. What was the strategy coming into this fight?
Well, essentially do that, establish my jab, and just see where the fight went from there. Obviously, the jab was pretty much enough.
Now, what are your thoughts of this fight only going, I mean, Matt comes in here, he's a pro boxer, he's got great hands. You know, you came in here and made quick work, 15 seconds.
I just happened to be my night, wasn't his night, it was what it was.
Talk to me about your training leading up to this, Josh.
I just had a real good training camp at Michigan Top Team, worked with Cody Stamen and the guys, working on my hands, Leroy. You know, the big thing Leroy was telling me before he came out was just to establish my jab, get it going, and then see where the fight goes from there.
Okay, and talk to me about, you know, Patino diet. I know we spoke in some of the pre-fight meetings about the importance of that for you and your training.
That's really definitely a benefit for me. It helps with my nutrition, my energy, my strength, everything. And I've got my Patino diet family. I love all you guys. Thank you. So, can't do without it.
Yeah, talk to me about the friends and family here tonight, because, I mean, you had this place lit up, just like Shamir Garcia a little earlier.
Just all our Patino diet family and all the guys, and my fiance who told me I had to hit first, so that's to make sure I hit her first. So, good.
So what's next for you? Obviously, it's hard to take anything away from this fight, you know, and what you can improve on. We didn't get to see very much other than, you know, you're just super solid with your hands right down the pipe.
Yeah, we've been working on our hands a little bit, but we're looking at November 16th to fight down in Louisiana, so we'll be next.
All right, well, is there anyone else that you need to thank before we leave the cage?
Obviously, I want to thank Dr. Frank Catino. Obviously, he's the man, he's my big brother. He's taking care of me from the beginning. I love you, brother. I want to thank my fiance, Mandy, for staying behind me, telling me how to win. My brother, Pokey, Leroy, John Toad, Cody, Darren Kirkshank, my whole team at Michigan Top Team, and my brothers from Hammer House that came out, Wes Sims and Brandon Hinkle.
Well, I think you scared a lot of people out there that are your weight, because, I mean, to get hit with a jab and be that damaged, we don't even want to know what comes out of your right hand. So we look forward to seeing you again, Josh.
Thank you.
Once again, Josh the Hammer Burns. Most importantly, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. You are so supportive, you are so loud, you are so energetic, one of the best crowds I've ever seen. Thank you, Dr. Frank Patino, once again for your support this evening. Check out PatinoDiet.com. Christopher Trainer and Associates, the law offices of Christopher Trainer and Associates. Make sure you check them out as well. Thank you for your support. We're going to have a post-fight press conference at the back. And once again, drive safe and thank you so much. Check out TXClive.com for our next show. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, well, Josh Burns putting an exclamation point on that fight and the main event tonight. And, you know, did you expect a little more from Matt Eckerly? I definitely did.
I did, but that jab just took it right out of him. I mean, he knocked him back 4 feet from that jab. It was hard.
That was the ultimate power jab. I mean, you know you're in trouble when you've dropped from a jab. That's unbelievable. Well, take me through the fights tonight, Joe. Let's, talk to me a little bit about what was your fight of the night?
My fight of the night, I think, was Drew Hellner and Justin James. I mean, that fight went back and forth. I think Drew convincingly won the first round on all the judges' cards, and then Justin came back in the second round and finished the fight, and that's what you need to do as a pro athlete.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're at the edge of our seats not knowing what was going to happen in that fight. And talk to me about submission of the night for you.
Submission of the night, you had a couple of them, but I think Tommy Bignasco got submission of the night because it was a Kimura, so it's not a common submission that you see in MMA. And he landed it, and it was solid. I give Tommy Bignasco submission of the night.
And KO, I mean, or beatdown, hand beatdown. What would you say for the KO of the night?
It's either got to be between Shamir Garcia or Josh Burns, but I think the way Josh Burns landed that jab in the follow-up, probably Josh Burns.
And you being the promoter of this event, Joe, talk to me a little bit about what you see promising for the next show in February.
Well, we had a great crowd. It was an awesome venue. It was very loud. Sold out. All the fighters really enjoyed themselves, and they're asking me when we're doing the next one. So, come February, we're going to do another one in Patino Diet. Tonight, we had a ton of celebrities that Dr. Patino brought from UFC vets and Peter from Peter's Principles. It was great. It was a star-studded crowd, so I'm excited to do the next one.
Now, from the fights that we did see, any matchups that we could possibly make to really get things amped up and really show, the best in Michigan?
I think from this card, definitely Cody Stamann versus James. It's a fight that's getting hyped. A lot of promoters throughout the state are going to try to get it. But I think that's, out of this card, I think that's a really good matchup to look forward to.
I'm excited to see the next card, and I look forward to more, TXC MMA Undisputed, and we will have Legends 3 coming in February. So, and is that what essentially we're going to work on next?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we'll hope to see you next time right here with TXC MMA Undisputed.